Oh, God, Michael. Oh, God. Oh, Lord in heaven. They're trying to do me in. They're trying to do me in, man. I don't know how much longer this can go on.
Who's after you?
Everyone. No one. It's the world, man. You got to watch out. I got my tinfoil hat so they can't mess with my teeth. It's just, man, I tell you what, like this week, this was not the week I wanted Red Dead Redemption 2 to come out because it's like, I've recorded like just a shitload of that, all the regular videos. Oh, like a dumbass, I started up streaming last week, so I got to do that again this week. Like a dumbass, I put some puppet intros in. So everybody's like, why aren't there 8 puppet intros? I'm like, bitch, I recorded all of the Asylum this week, as well as like a huge amount of Red Dead, as well as like live streaming. And you know what else? But my friend Brian Brushwood called me up today and was like, hey, man, can you go host this Halloween event that they're doing at the community where I live?
What?
And I was like, I mean, I can. I don't know what. And he was like,
what?
I said I would do it. I'm at TwitchCon. Can you do it? And I was like, I mean, I guess I can. I'm not like a Halloween guy. Like I'm not just like, oh man, my favorite time of the year is Halloween.
I don't see you as a hosting kind of guy. On like in front of people though.
What are you talking about? I'm hosting this Rage Select podcast.
I mean like in a setting in front of people is what I mean.
Oh well, I can tamp down the sheer terror in my heart long enough. Usually, I'll tell you a secret. By the way, hi everybody, welcome to the Rage Select podcast. I'm Jeff,
and I'm Mike.
I'll tell you a little secret. I have stage fright. I have had stage fright for a long time. Like when I was in high school, I literally took speech to try to like help with that. And the fact that I do this, like, people don't know this, but like back in the old days when we did SpillCon, and it was like, you put Corey and Jason in front of microphones, whatever, right? But then we had those things where we had to like sit up in front of like a theater full of people. And the first time I was like, oh man, I hope nobody looks at my legs because they were shaking because I was so nervous. But you know what I've learned? See, I'm part of a generation where it was just like, oh, do you not like that? Well, go fuck yourself and go do it. Man up, dude. Like, so, yeah, I can do that. I'll be like, hey, everybody, it's time for the apple bobbing. I don't know what you kids do. It's time for fidget spinners and Fortnite. We're giving out all the pumped up kicks.
Wait, did you do this already yet or no?
No, I'm doing it tomorrow.
You're doing it tomorrow?
I'm recording 4 more videos tomorrow and then going to do this, and then I'm going to stream on Sunday, and then I've got to do the other job that I normally do on Sunday nights. Like,
that's amazing.
And then on Monday, I'm going to record the last of the Asylum videos.
Oh, fuck.
Like, there is no rest for the wicked, and I am the wicked. I don't know what I did to deserve this. Also, like, hey, man, you know what I'd like to do is just sit down and play a little Red Dead Redemption 2, or I don't know, Thronebreaker, My Hero Academia, Spider-Man DLC, watch Castlevania. Like, you take your pick. But oh no, because I'm recording at 1 p.m. tomorrow. So you and I are recording this at like 10, and I'm already hopped up on caffeine. We got to do this. I got to do another video. I got to go right to sleep. So yeah, when people in the comment section have been like, "Oh, good, puppet intros for every video," and I'm just like, whoa, Mr. Mouth, hold on.
Oh, geez.
So anyway, let's get into a little podcasting. It's got to be done. We've already started.
Yeah, we've gone too far.
Yep, I popped the top. So hey, guess what? I watched Daredevil season 3 last week on Netflix.
How is it? I haven't seen it still.
Really good. Like I was surprised how good it was. It drags a little at the beginning, but strangely enough, like this was the first season where they made me kind of care about like all the side characters to a point where I actually kind of gave a shit what happened to them.
Oh.
Like not entirely. Like they could have cut a lot of it out. Like just put in the peril. Like I don't need the characterization.
Oh, okay.
But no, it was pretty good. I think that it's a testament to the way that the Marvel Netflix shows have gone, that Wilson Fisk steps back into the Daredevil universe. It's just like, oh, thank you. It's not ninjas anymore. It's not any of this. The hand is fucking out. Like we're just doing Daredevil, and like we got the churches in there. We got Wilson Fisk. We got a new bad guy. You know, great.
Yeah, we had a lot of seasons about just ninjas. I just realized that.
Yeah. It was like starting at like
Because it's season 2 Daredevil,
Season 2
Iron
Daredevil,
Fist,
Iron Fist, Defenders,
and it's mentioned in. Is it an Iron Fist season 2? I never watched season 2 of Iron Fist. That's like 4 seasons worth of ninjas. Either way.
No, it wasn't Iron Fist season 2. It's just like they kept dragging this shit out. Well, no, you know what? And it wasn't just in those, because I feel like there were places in Luke Cage where it was like, oh man, the triads or so. I don't know. Maybe I'm making
I
that
think that's
up,
different on that one. Yeah.
but I'm just so glad it wasn't goddamn ninjas again. You know what? It was 13 one-hour episodes, and it dragged a little bit. Like, I liked the 10 episodes from Iron Fist better than the 13 episodes from Daredevil. Like, I wish they could have just done it in 10 episodes and kind of cut out some of the chaff. But you know, it was good. There was a couple of really arresting action sequences. I really like Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. I think he's great. I think the new bad guy was great in a way where you don't have to just. Like, one of the other problems with the Marvel series, right, is everybody's just strong. That's their thing. Like, Daredevil punches people, Luke Cage punches people, Jessica Jones punches people, and Iron Fist has a special power where, guess what? He punches people.
But much harder.
But hard. But in an indiscriminate way where it's like, is he stronger than Luke Cage? Is he not stronger than Luke Cage? Why doesn't Luke Cage just handle all this shit when they need shit handled? Because he's invincible.
Because budgets.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I like kind of diversifying that a little bit. It was actually somewhat artfully shot in places, which like those shows are so vanilla that.
You remember that was your issue with most of the other shows.
A lot of them. But there was a few places where it's like, hey, you guys had some better writing, some better cinematography, like some good action scenes. Guess what? No Rosario Dawson. No Misty Knight. No, what Iron Fist girl's
I don't remember her name either.
Whatever her name is that likes to hang out.
Sword lady, I don't know.
Yeah. Nobody but like Daredevil characters, right? No like cinematic universe, right? Just like Daredevil, and it's like, okay. So
that's cool.
I liked it more than season 2. I think season 1 is an origin, and origins are so much easier to do, right?
Yeah.
But it was good. I really liked where they went with it. And I mean, as I always say on this show, I don't think it's worth getting Netflix to watch Daredevil, but chances are you probably already have somebody's Netflix password, if not your own.
My favorite thing is you said somebody's first before saying you have your own.
You got your own, you got somebody else's, whatever.
I can argue with that, though, because it's true.
Yeah.
Because that's how I am.
So, and you got 13 hours to spare. Hey, man, it's better than a kick to the nuts. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I enjoyed it far more than the first, than what's been going on in the new Doctor Who. I just haven't been digging the new Doctor Who.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I got a bunch of new shows that I thought I wanted to watch, and then a lot of them have just fallen down their face. Like I tried watching Goblin Slayer, and I was just like, this is dumb. I don't like this anymore.
So you actually decided to give Goblin Slayer a chance?
I watched the first 3 episodes. I'm going to watch one more, but like it's not really very. It's what I don't like about an anime show, where it like kind of starts out with a bang, and then it kind of does the Berserk thing, where it starts out with a real bloody bang, right? And then it kind of slows way down. And I don't really like the world that it's set in, and I don't really like the characters. And the second and the third episode don't have a lot of like action in them, which was kind of the thing that I liked about the first one. So
yeah,
but
that's fair.
Anyway, you said you actually plowed all the way through Castlevania today.
Yes, I finished the entirety so far, at least of the second season.
Okay, no spoilers, because I really want to watch it myself. What do you got? Thumbs up? I mean, the first four episodes that they put out?
The first three I liked a lot.
Yeah.
These are very exposition heavy.
Okay.
Because it introduced a lot of different characters.
I felt like the first three had a lot of exposition.
Yeah, but even more so in this, because they're introducing like a bunch of different people that weren't in the first 3 episodes.
Okay.
Like it introduces like almost like 5 or 6 different people. And they're just like, this is so-and-so, and this is his origin, and this is his origin, and this is his origin. I'm like, I don't need to know their origins that badly, guys. Like, just let's get back to the part where the Belmont is killing something kind of thing.
But it's like what? It's like 8 30-minute episodes?
Yeah, they're like 8 30-minute episodes. So a lot of exposition, and then the second half has more of the action stuff in it.
Okay.
And but it's the only other issue I have with it is that it leans more heavily into the Alucard side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like story-wise, like it feels more like his story than like an all-for-one Belmont kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, which is like it's a minor criticism, I think.
Setting up for that Symphony of the Night sequel, huh?
Yeah, because I love the Belmonts more personally, but that's just me because they have a very rich lore that they delve in a little bit, but
except
not as deeper as I wish.
Who's that first one?
Leon?
Is it the one that turns into Dracula at the end of the symphony or the?
No, you're thinking of the second timeline.
Oh,
because the original timeline is Leon.
No. Say no.
Second timeline.
Say no more. What's the word timeline? It comes out of your mouth. You're talking about a video game. I am uninterested. I do not care.
No, but actually, that's another thing I can say. It does a better job at humanizing Dracula than that second timeline thing.
Okay,
with that, I can't even remember his name anymore. Something. It's Belmont. I just can't remember his name.
I don't even remember the name of the games. What were they?
Lords of Shadow.
Lords of Shadow. Yeah, Lords of Shadow 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Part 2 is awful. Part 1's actually pretty good, and Mirror of Fate was okay.
Oh yeah, I
like the Simon design on that one a lot.
I didn't like any part of that franchise. It didn't work for me.
It was It had Patrick Stewart. Just. Also, a very Dragon Ball Z fight against Satan for some reason. It's strange.
There's a
Gabriel Belmont. Sorry, I just remembered his name.
We the Story of Us or something like that. This game that came out. It was like a little platforming puzzle adventure game that Matt and I played. That's narrated by Patrick Stewart. So let's not get up on our narrated by Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart's also in like Family Guy and shit. So right. There's that too.
He's like a main character in American Dad.
Yeah, he's a fucking great character in American Dad.
Oh yeah, he is.
But yeah, it's Castlevania. I liked it a lot. My only issues every now and then there's a bit of lore here and there that I enjoy that doesn't really get mentioned at all.
Okay.
But other than that, I liked it a lot.
Kind of an insider issue.
Yeah, it's just like it's mostly like involves the weapons. Like they're like they don't give the certain weapons certain names that I wish they did, and some of them are just like this is special, and I'm like, but what about okay, sure.
So it sounds like if you're looking for something to watch, you can watch Castlevania, you can watch Daredevil. I hear The Haunting of Hill House or whatever is really good. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I will say before we move on to the news, don't watch Making a Murderer season 2. Nothing happens, bro. Nothing happens, and it's kind of silly. No, the guys are in jail. Like that was the first one. Is like the police put the 2 guys in jail, right? And the second season is like, will they get out of jail? Hey, guess what? No, but you could have looked that up. Like it would have been news if those guys got out of jail, right? Like it was spoiled because it's like a real thing that happened in the world.
That's happening now.
And I watched like all fucking 8 to 12 episodes or however many there were of that, and boy, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you like it, maybe true crime's your thing, but like I feel like there's a lot better stuff on Netflix to watch right now.
There's a lot of great stuff. I think Sabrina just started too.
Oh yeah. I just fell back into watching The Good Place again because it's
really good.
Whatever, man.
The new season's really good still, by the way.
Yeah,
it's exactly what we need in the world.
All right, well let's jump into the news. It's a weird week because there's not a lot. There's no big like thing happening this week, so we're in potpourri. We're in the hodgepodge. Okay. The first thing that we're going to talk about though this week is speaking of boring things that nobody wants to read. Bethesda put out a statement. I'm sorry. It's a really mean transition.
That was very mean.
Have you read this?
I've not.
Okay, so they put out this big thing that's kind of like comes off as a little bit of like a preemptive apology for Fallout 76.
That sounds good.
Like one of the things that they said, this I'm going to tell you. I'm going to read a few things from this. It kind of makes my skin crawl a little bit. Some of it does. Let's see. Our worlds, whether it be Fallout, Elder Scrolls, or the coming Starfield, are important places to us. We do everything we can to treat them with care. We know that they mean just as much to you, that the time you spend in them is important, and you want each time you experience one to be special and all it can be. And with that, and that with Fallout 76, you are left wondering, what exactly is this? The answer to that question, more than any game we've ever made, is it's up to you.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't play games like the phrase "it's up to you" is not something that I like in my entertainment media,
especially from Bethesda of all people.
Yeah,
like that's not a good answer for any of that.
You know what? I haven't played it yet. I know the beta's been going on. I haven't even looked at it because I've just been so goddamn busy, as I said at the beginning. But like, I still am just having a hard time in my brain understanding what exactly is it that I'm doing in Fallout 76. Is it just keeping myself fed and like
Apparently
trying
it's
to
finding John Denver's corpse, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, like building a house and hunting and getting better weapons so that I can hunt better, so that I can keep myself fed. Because I'm not interested in killing other people. I'm not interested in killing other players. So there's also a thing. There's also another line here that I think a lot of people have taken issue with, which is like, usually after years of development, we finally finish, release the game, and take a break. Which explains why none of the bugs get fixed. Oh, burr, burr, burr. With 76, we feel we have not finished, but reaching a starting line where all new work begins.
Oh God!
We all know that with the scale of the game and the system we let you use, that unforeseen bugs and issues will always come up. Given what we're doing with 76, we know we're opening up. We're opening everyone up to all new spectacular issues none of us have ever encountered. Some we're aware of, such as areas where performance needs to improve with lots of players. Others we surely don't. We need your help finding them and advice on what's important to us. We'll address all of it now and after launch. So.
Oh God!
If I can, okay, there is a charitable way to put this through the BS corporate doublespeak filter. The uncharitable way, though, is, hey guys, we're launching a game that's broken, $60, and there's nothing to do in it. Have fun, everybody!
And every time you find a plot hole or a pothole, tell us, and we'll consider looking at it.
Yeah. So I actually kind of ended up crawling through the Twitter mentions on this. To see people, some people just say, oh yeah, some people are just like, oh, whatever it is that you do with Bethesda, I'm totally on board. I don't know how you feel about Bethesda, but like I have felt okay, it's not like the quality of Bethesda games has just like gone from like the best games that were ever made to absolute dog shit. But like I feel that okay, people know that I've gotten into New Vegas, so I'm going to kind of count that out of the equation, but I feel like Fallout 3 is better than Fallout 4. Like a
lot of people say that. Actually.
I believe intrinsically that Fallout 3 concentrated more on the things that I want out of a game. Like I don't care about building a settlement. I don't care. And like even when I just look at Fallout 3 and the expansions to Fallout 3, like the Pit and Operation Anchorage and the one where you get taken to the Mothership Zeta, and Point Lookout. You know, Point Lookout had a fucking Cthulhu quest in it, for God's sake. And Fallout 4 was just like, oh no, the rights of the automatons, and like, what happened to your son, and the Institute. And I was just like,
the Shroud.
I don't know. I don't care about any of this. And the fact that Fallout 76 apparently just has like audio tapes, right? It has no computer controlled NPCs, audio tapes that tell a story, and then just like monsters in a world. My brain is just having a very difficult time figuring out what the upside to this game is. I know what the upside is for Bethesda. It's that they, eventually they'll get to add in microtransactions or some way to monetize. And then like that will give them that infinite source of cash that they want. But like, I feel like you can make a real clear argument that's like, okay, you had Skyrim, or you had Fallout 3, Skyrim, and then
Skyrim, and then Skyrim again, and then Skyrim again.
Was it Elder Scrolls Online?
Oh yeah, that was the thing.
And then Elder Scrolls Online was where things got a little weird, because I've played a bunch of Elder Scrolls Online, and I do not like that game.
No one ever talks about it anymore. I've talked to a lot of people at my call center jobs who worked for their support, and they always told me they got no calls at all because people just were not playing it.
Yeah. And then Fallout 4 came out, and it was like, I mean, okay, sure, a little bit, but not like as much as Fallout 3. And then you've got this 76, and it's just like, what do you guys do? Like, I feel like they're moving into this area. I feel like the thing that they've been known for is not a thing that apparently they want to do a lot of anymore, which is just hardcore, long narrative games.
Yeah, because they just keep re-releasing fucking Skyrim every 20 seconds. And then, so it's just like, I feel like they haven't really worked on these games as much as they used to, like, in the extreme detail they used to.
Yeah,
because the thing I hear about Fallout 3 being better than Fallout 4 the most is the sheer amount of things you can tell somebody in Fallout 3 depending on your intelligence.
Oh yeah,
and stuff like that, and little fun little things like that just don't really happen in Fallout 4 because of the way it's structured kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I we'll see. Like I'm not going to be playing the Xbox preview for 76, but I might try to get in on the PlayStation one. But like I'm not a huge ass fan anymore of what I'm seeing. Like Fallout 4 was okay, Like okay, when I made an Almond Space melee build in Fallout 4 where you could just punch everything to death, that was fun, but I had to break your game in order to make it fun. Like it wasn't fun just kind of all on its own.
Yeah, the thing about Fallout 76 is the more I hear about it, the more it sounds like a game that was just made like a week ago.
I could see that. Well, I tell you what game was not made a week ago, and that is Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
Now I don't know, Michael. This one's for you. I threw this one just in here for you. Dev, you heard about the collector's edition or potential editions of Devil May Cry 5.
I've heard of like one other one, but I can't remember what it was.
Okay. Do you have $8,000?
Oh my god. For what?
Dante's jacket.
Like a
full-on wearable, it's a real piece of clothing,
like
Dante's
a nice
jacket.
leather jacket?
Yes, like a nice red leather Dante's jacket.
I'm not gonna lie, if I had the money, I probably would consider it.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think that's that's interesting. However, I think that you probably could have made like a $400 version of Dante's leather jacket.
Well, if it's nice leather, it can last for a long time.
That's true, but
It's an investment at that
kind
point.
of okay. Well, okay. You know what I'm hearing from you? You don't have $8,000. All right,
don't.
that's fine.
That's
Not
worth the
everybody
amount.
has $8,000.
It's what's worth the amount I have left on my car payments.
Okay, so you don't have $8,000. That's fine. Capcom's got you covered. How about Nero's one-arm jacket for $6,500?
No, I'm okay on that one.
No, it's literally a broken jacket
Yeah,
for
for
$6,000.
That's a bit much, Capcom.
Come on, this is Capcom. Or there's a third option, which is V's vest jacket, and that one is about $5,000.
Jesus Christ.
So that's why the headline on this story says, if you want all three jackets, you'll be spending about $20,000 for three different super expensive collector's editions of Devil May Cry.
I wish I was in the room for whoever decided on these. Like some guy just like randomly he ordered a Dante jacket replica on it, and then I accidentally ordered it in bulk. And then somebody's like, well, we need to do something. He freaked out because he ordered it in bulk
Like
on his company
40 of
credit
these,
card.
yeah.
He ordered it on his company credit card. He's freaking the fuck out. And they're just like, why'd you buy so many? He's like, special collector's editions. Yeah, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it's a little weird.
It's like, holy fuck.
I mean, it's like, again, they're all good looking jackets, and I'd be willing to spend like a
$200.
human amount of money on them, maybe, but like, goddamn, dude, I don't want to own a single. Michael, if I own an $8,000 jacket, I would never wear it. I would put it under glass and put it on my wall and be like, this is art. Do not breathe near it, please.
I can imagine you just showing it to guests. This is my really nice jacket. You can tell how nice it is because it cost me a lot of money.
Do not wear it.
I bought a plaque for it and everything, and it cost less than the jacket.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah. So, hey, Devil May Cry 5 is coming out.
And I'm excited.
And when it comes out, I bet that there's going to be a lot of people playing it on Twitch.
I figured there would.
Yeah. Well, guess what? There's a new feature which won't work for that game, but
Go on.
Twitch is having their con right now. I actually mentioned that at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And they announced some new stuff that they're adding into just the overall Twitch platform. There's a lot of them, and you can kind of go read all the way through a bunch of these different things. But one of the most interesting things is what there is the ability for 4 people to stream on the same stream simultaneously.
Now you can swat 4 people at once.
Right. So it's like somebody kind of sets up like a party, and then if you're playing like a multiplayer game, each person can have their stream, and then they can synchronize all of them.
That's interesting.
So you can switch between all of them, and then like one person will host the chat, but it can literally have chat from, like, if you go to one person's stream, you're literally interacting with the stream from all of those people at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of interesting because, I don't know, I mean, like, it's weird. I stopped doing streams like in 2016, and then we did a stream last weekend.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I got done, Twitch was like, oh, you got a bunch of achievements. And it was like, here's the checklist to become a partner. And I was like, oh. And I was like, how does that work? And they're like, well, people can give you money. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should do that. And then this week, because it's like, you have to stream a certain amount of time. You have to stream like every day for like 7 days or something like that. So.
And you're thinking about it, aren't you?
I'm thinking about it a little bit.
You need to get an $8,000 jacket first.
That's right. We're going to do a stream to get an $8,000 jacket, motherfuckers. So, yeah, there's a whole bunch of new things that you can get in here. Like, there's, like, VIP badges. So you can tell your subscribers from the other people in the chat window.
That's kind of neat.
There's the ability to, like, leave a comment on somebody else's profile for moderation where it says, like the example in this thing is, like, this guy has been trying to provoke us in the stream. Like, just watch out for him. To do that. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's in here, even some visual effects that you can add. Bunch of new stuff coming to Twitch, which I think is cool because I feel like YouTube, I don't know, I feel like Twitch used to be primary streaming, and now I feel like there's a lot more people that are doing like podcast style streaming on YouTube because of the super chat function.
Oh, yeah.
Where you can add money to like get your chat highlighted. So I think that Twitch is kind of, just like busting out some new stuff, right? Including
they need to keep up.
a beta where they've teamed up with Harmonix for an app called Sings, which is just karaoke on Twitch.
Okay.
Is like you're doing karaoke on Twitch, and then people can just like judge your ass for it. It's in beta. It'll be coming out soon. I'm like, and I would just like to take this opportunity to say, Michael, Rage Select audience, I will never sing karaoke. I'm not a singer. I'm a podcast person.
I don't feel like that's true. I'm sure they'll come up with another rock band and you'll karaoke.
No, I don't sing. I'll play the drums. I'll play the guitar. I'll rock out all night long.
Okay, fair. You'll dance for them though.
It goes back to that stage fright thing. Like, I don't want to. Like, I had my animation teacher who was my business partner. Like, for a long time, used to hang out at a karaoke bar every night because he used to work there. They gave him cheap drinks, right?
Don't you want to be like Yakuza? Doing karaoke all night?
No, I do not. I'm sure it's fine and nobody will judge me, but also the amount of liquored up that I need to get to sing means that people are going to judge me. So, no, sir. No, ma'am. No, thank you.
No, sir, I don't like it one bit.
But you know what? Hey, it's cool for other people. I mean,
I think it's a weird idea, to be honest. Like, to make it a thing within the system instead of just letting them do normal karaoke, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it works, it works, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. From there, we're going to move on to some hardware news, or actually some software news. So Twitch wasn't the only one announcing things this week. Microsoft also announced something really, really interesting. And that is that they're planning to expand Game Pass to the PC. So for those of you who don't remember, maybe don't have an Xbox, Xbox One or the Xbox Game Pass is a thing where you pay, what is it? Like
$10
$10 a month or something like that. It's not much. Yeah, it's kind of a drop in the barrel. Unless, of course, you're just, I got HBO, I got Netflix, I got Hulu, I got Prime. But what it gives you is access to all of their first-party releases. So like when Forza Horizon 4 came out, I didn't even actually play it on Rage Select, but like I have it on my Xbox because... when Gears came out, you just download Gears.
Halo 5, I think, is on it?
Probably. Well, I think it backfills some of their catalog, so you have access to that stuff as well. But apparently, they're going to be moving it up to PC as well, which is interesting because we don't, but outside of like GameFly, we don't really have like a first party. I guess EA Origin does.
Yeah, EA Origins has something
pass, but it's interesting to kind of see them dipping their toes in the water of the subscription pass. It's just a shame that no matter how much EA and Microsoft do it, that they'll never get Sony to do it.
Well, Sony has their PlayStation Now. That's on now. That does not work whatsoever.
Well, except that you can download the games that are on PS Now that are PS4 games.
Some of them, but not a lot.
So
all the games that you don't want to put on there, that you just buy.
Yeah. I thought it was all of them that were on the PS4.
No, as far as there's other games on PlayStation Now that like are like PS3 games and stuff that you just
Oh yeah, not those.
PS2 ones,
Right.
Like there's some that you can download, but they have to be ones that you can buy on the PlayStation Store.
I guess I was surprised when I looked at PlayStation Now to see the number of PS4 games that were on there, because like Bloodborne was on there, and I was like, oh shit. But I think this could be really good, and I'm still like, man, come on, Microsoft. This is the obligatory podcast place where I'm just like, come on, Microsoft. Be competitive, for fuck's sake. Like, I need you to be competitive to get Sony to be more competitive. So
Sony doesn't give a fuck right now.
Yeah.
With printing money.
Yeah. Well, first party games. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You need first party games.
Like, I remember every time a new first party game comes out for PlayStation and Nintendo, like, look at all these great games you can play. And on the Xbox, it's always just Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Well, let's not forget about Sony, because we did get some new information on their new update with the ability to change your PlayStation ID.
Oh yeah.
With some weird fucking caveats, bro. Okay, so this message that came up, because there's like the beta thing right now. These are some of the things that are in this message about what could potentially go down when you change your PlayStation ID.
Is it you may get diarrhea?
It's worse than that. Diarrhea can be treated. Like, okay, this is one that is incredibly okay. This is the reason this is a story on my list here, right? Huh. You may lose access to content, including paid for content that you've acquired for your games, including content like add-ons and virtual currency.
Huh.
You may lose your progress within games, including saved game data, leaderboard data, and progress towards trophies. Parts of your games and applications may not function properly, both online and offline. Your previous online ID may remain visible to you and other players in some places.
Well, that one we knew.
Yeah. So this is weird because they stress that like anything after April of this year should be fine, and that most other things will probably be fine. But I kind of feel like that first one is a real, like, I'm going to need you to give me a list of games where this could happen, because you may lose access to content, including paid for content you acquired for your games, including content like add-ons and virtual currency. Like, if I'm going to be losing like Warframe data, that's more important to me than, like, I don't know, that time that I downloaded some free-to-play VR game bullshit.
Yeah, or
right?
Tekken free-to-play game or something.
Yeah.
Those first two are pretty devastating sounding.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
geez.
Below there's some new information. First change is free for all users. Second change, blah blah blah. This is one of the weird ones. I don't really quite understand this one. Maybe you can shine some on us. If your previous online ID violates any of the current terms of service, you will not be able to revert back to your previous ID. Like, my impression was that when you change it, your previous ID is like held to the side, right? Like, they don't just instantly put that name up for grabs, right? So how the hell could somebody be like using your previous ID to do? So it's like, if one of those games that can't use your new ID is using your previous ID, and you break terms of service for that, then you can't revert your new. This is fucking.
Wait, hold on. So read that again. If your previous
online ID violates any of the current terms of service, you will not be able to revert back to your previous online ID. Because you can revert. Like, within a certain amount of time, you can just be like, no, I changed my mind. I want to go back to my old one. But I think that what it has to be is, like, if you're playing one of those games that doesn't use your current ID, because some games will do that, then you can't, and then you fuck it up there.
Oh, okay.
Then you can't go back to that.
Well, basically, like, if you fuck it up and then you decide to change it to, like, get past because the fact that it changes it, kind of thing, the system doesn't realize it for some of those old games.
Yes.
If you can't go back at that point.
Yes.
Because that one is now considered like a fucked up criminal, I guess. That's dumb.
This whole process sounds janky AF, man.
Kind of haphazard.
Yeah. I think maybe it's a good idea just to make a new ID. Like, then keep your old ID logged in too with all your previous.
Sniper 420 is just going to have to stay Sniper 420.
It's a sunk cost fallacy. I'm going to tell you right now. The faster that you create a new ID, the faster you can start creating a new whole profile based on that ID. Unless, I guess, you really give a shit about like trophies, but
some people are like that, but it depends on the person.
Yeah. Speaking of fucked up stuff that's happening to games, we got some interesting information about Yakuza 4, the Yakuza 4 remake that's coming out on the PlayStation. So did you ever play Yakuza 4?
I think I started it, but I never finished it.
Okay. So Yakuza 4 has 4 protagonists. It's got who was it? The moneylender guy, Shun Akiyama, Death Row mate Taiga Sajima, Beat Cop Mayoshi Tanamura, and Kazuma Kiryu. Well, the Beat Cop guy is going to have all of his lines redubbed. And it's interesting why. It's because the guy that played him was Hiroki Naramiya. He was the guy that was both the facial model and then also the voice for that character. And apparently, in 2016, there was all these accusations of him being a big cokehead, and he faxed his retirement to his agency and then just disappeared into the wind and was like gonzo. So being that they're re-releasing this, they want to like re-record certain dialogue parts, and this guy doesn't do that anymore. So they're bringing in a new voice actor, and that actor is Toshiki Masuda, who you probably know, depending, as the voice of Ejiro on My Hero Academia, who's the guy that hardens his skin up with the spiky hair.
That's fucking neat.
Yeah.
But also fucking weird the way that happened.
It's a real strange story.
What is with Japan's voice actors doing some weird shit?
I do not know. I have no clue. But you know what? What I can say is that this might make a different. Like, you know what?
Also, you faxed somebody in 2016. That's also surprising.
When Yakuza Kiwami 2, there's an area that they had in Yakuza 2 that they took out of Yakuza Kiwami 2 that a lot of the people who played Yakuza 2 were like very mad about. I'm not mad. Like, so a voice actor change like this, I'm just like, as long as he doesn't sound like, as long as he's not just like, oh, I'm the new voice of the cop. Like, as long as it's not like bad or anything.
Yeah, as long as it's not so incredibly drastically different.
Right.
Was my issue sometimes. Like when they changed the voice of Mr. Satan in Dragon Ball Z after the original voice actor, well, I'm going to say died because yeah.
Okay.
He was also the original voice of Heihachi. And so when after he died, they had to get somebody else for Mr. Satan. Sounded not even close to the dude in any shape, way, or form.
Okay.
And I was like, this just does not feel right at all.
So, yeah. From there, let's talk about Congress. Let's talk about the Library of Congress. So there's a really interesting thing that happened this week. This almost just like went right past me, but this is really fascinating. Okay, history time, ladies and germs. I get the feeling that people that listen to Rage Select are a little bit older, so they probably know. But in 1998, the DMCA was filed. We probably know that from using it to like take down people's videos. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act.
Know it as now.
Yeah, I feel like the big thing with this was they wanted to make it illegal to crack like DVD encryption, so that you could rip a DVD, because when DVDs first came out, they had encryption on them, and the community at large really wanted, because remember like region locking and shit like that.
Yeah,
community at large really wanted to start pulling stuff off of this, but you literally had to crack like the code that was on there to get the movie off of it, and that this law was just like, no, that's illegal, bro. Same reason why it's like technically HDMI strippers are illegal, because you're tampering with the signal code or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, part of the DMCA was a provision called Section 1201 that said no person shall circumvent a technological measure that effectively controls access to a work. But there was a strange thing that happened where various government organizations were asked to kind of rule on what if something is abandoned. Like if a movie is not available anywhere, then is it okay for us to basically circumvent the garbage that was there in order to get it, to keep it in a place where the people can look at it?
Yeah.
And this also applied to games. So, like, is it okay to break the copyright or the copy protection on a game in order to keep a game available where the copy protection isn't like if copy protection was an online server authentication, that server has been taken offline, then the only way to make the game work is going to be to break the game, essentially. and they ruled that you can do that. And they just recently basically kind of reinforced that by specifically saying that, like what I just said was kind of in the abstract, but they said specifically, like, if a game requires an online component and that online component has been taken away by the publisher, in order to keep that game available to people, it is okay to circumvent some of the code that is in the game to do that.
This is huge.
Yeah. Now, let's be clear here. This is not like an epic court decision. This is basically just like it's kind of strengthening the idea that people already have about this particular concept. So it's possible that we're still looking at, like, going to court, you may lose, right? But the idea, I like the fact that there is that the idea of game archiving is out there, because the longer that we go on with more and more kind of digital only games and stuff like that, archival is something to consider, something to consider.
It's the thing that we always talk about with games, especially involving DLC stuff.
Yeah.
When people are just like, well, when a game comes out, there's sometimes a bug that breaks the game entirely. But what if one day, the server that gives you that patch just is non-existent?
Right.
And what if, the DLC that finishes the storyline just that server's gone and it's just non-existent? It's like, how do we keep these games preserved in some kind of way? Like, it's getting harder and harder because that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, especially, see, I like my own personal thoughts in this matter that I've talked about a bunch of times before is like, bro, if you want to hold on to it, then okay. So in like movies, right? You know how they'll keep like re-releasing a movie with like new features and a new thing and a new blah 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 to like renew the copyright or whatever on it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that the game industry like doesn't have to do that. Like, they just kind of get to like sit on it. I guess the movie industry used to do that back when the copyright laws weren't just like a million years and then also a second million years on top of that.
Yeah. It used to be really easy to just take somebody's movie if they didn't re-release it.
Right.
That's why there's so many John Romero, what is it, Night of the Living Dead DVDs or something?
Oh, yeah.
Because he didn't copyright it or some shit.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that shit's in public domain. Anyway, I'll tell you what you probably won't need to crack, though, with this DRM encryption, is this new Intellivision console.
Say that again?
This new Intellivision console.
I thought that's what you said.
It's the Intellivision Amico.
The fuck?
It's got plans to re-enter the Intellivision has Did you even know Intellivision was still a thing?
I didn't know Intellivision was still a thing. I thought they imploded or something.
Yep.
Or were bought out by like Activision or something.
Yep. They got plans to re-enter the market with a new console. It's funny. Do you remember Intellivision was the one where you had the little cards that you would put down on top of like a numpad of buttons?
Yeah.
And then you had the little disc at the bottom. Well, from this mock-up that I'm seeing, it seems like they might be using this screen, like a touch screen, and then a little disc at the bottom, because this Mamma Jamma is supposedly going to be coming out with like remixes of Intellivision games. The only problem with this is that, like, I've seen this happen a bunch of times. Remember Atari's console that actually I believe came out already that was just like to play Android games or whatever?
Oh, dude, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Did that already come out?
I don't know. This is launching October 10th of 2020 with an expected price point between $150 and $180. And I'm sorry, but I'm not. Intellivision games sucked ass. All right,
they were
like,
not good.
Or they didn't suck ass, but I'm not willing to pay $150 to play fucking Intellivision games.
Well, maybe they'll re-release Skyrim on it.
Yes, all the old Intellivision games as well as Skyrim. That's a pretty scary concept. I'll tell you what else though is scary. That's the new Fortnitemares. Woo!
Yay!
I feel like Epic has just been like just waiting. They've just been waiting. They made a zombie game for fuck's sake, and like, oh man, Fortnitemares is a good title for.
That's pretty good actually
for a Fortnite Halloween thing. So, in keeping up with our epic tradition of talking about what Fortnite is doing without ever actually playing Fortnite, have you played Fortnite?
I tried it once and died immediately.
Okay, so not for you.
Not for me.
Okay. What about that new Call of Duty Blackout mode? That's pretty cool, right?
Call of Duty just hasn't been for me in a long time.
Yeah, I agree.
But I love that this dude is dressed like a cowboy.
He reminds me of like McCree in a Van Helsing costume.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
But yeah, apparently the giant cube has broken, and like the zombies from the actual Fortnite,
The actual original game.
are like they're going to be like spawning into the multiplayer mode. They're also adding back in the hand cannon. There's going to be a new update where you can just jump off of stuff and deploy your glider now wherever you want to.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is pretty nifty. In fact, I was surprised because I was looking at articles about this, and I saw this GIF that is somebody in a David Pumpkins costume. And I was like, oh, shit, they got a David S. Pumpkins costume in there? And then he unfurls his glider, and it's a giant spider. And I was like, oh, nope.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But I feel like the guys who originally made Fortnite were just like waiting for this day to be like, finally, the things that I worked really hard on can finally be seen.
Right. I think they spent like 5 years developing.
They were making Fortnite for a long time. And I don't mean like the version it is now, but I mean like the original one that no one
tower
gave a fuck about.
Yeah. Storms are going to move faster. There's going to be a bunch of new things. You know what? Fortnite continues to show me to me to be a great example of how to do it, right? Like it's free to play. They keep adding this content. They keep changing up the world. There's like a whole story going on
it's
here.
A great it's a great if life gives you lemon story too.
Yeah,
because they made this game this zombie game that's a tower defense game, and every time I saw any YouTuber play this thing, they're like, this is just super boring. And then one day they're like, why don't we just stick the word battle royale on it? And then now it's doing gangbusters.
Yep. As I've always said, I think that the most interesting thing about Fortnite is that, like, man, there was a brief moment in the world, Michael, when PUBG was like the thing, and then like 3 months later, Fortnite was just like, you can go fuck yourself. This is how a real game studio makes video games. So
my favorite part is during that 3-month period, Microsoft threw a shit ton of money at them.
Yep.
Those poor bastards.
So anyway, if you're into Fortnite, hey, I'm hoping you're having a great Fortnightmare. Don't show me pictures.
Did you ever see a copy of PUBG for Xbox One, by the way?
Like a physical copy?
Yeah.
No.
When you open it, there's nothing in it other than a code in it. There wasn't even like a disc in it.
Fuck you, PUBG.
It was really bad. I remember laughing so fucking hard when I saw that on Reddit.
Like you had such a like an opportunity, and it's just like, man, you got fucked. Like you let the imitator take over and just do you dirty.
The guy got arrogant. He's like, it's the hot and newness, no one can touch it, so I don't have to do anything to it. And then Fortnite was like, well, what if we do things to it?
Yep. Speaking of companies doing things to video games that are bad, so we're coming up on Halloween, and there's some new Halloween content for everyone's favorite game. Michael, do you know what it is?
Is it?
Do you know what the game is?
Is it Chicken Run?
You know how Fortnite has zombies? You know what else has zombies? You know what else has
Super Mario?
Unicorn zombies.
Wait, what? Metal
Gear Survive.
Oh God,
is getting a pyramid head costume for Halloween because Konami, like a zombie, doesn't realize that, like, what? Fuck you. Who's playing Metal Gear Survive?
Hooray, question mark?
And then, like, okay, here's, like, it's almost like, you know what, Konami? Please don't remind me that you have two of my favorite franchises and refuse to do anything with them except be shitty.
Yeah,
like, hey, remember we own Silent Hill? You know, that game you'd like to have a sequel to? That you remember when we had like the Rockstar All-Star team ready to make a new one of these?
That everyone was excited for?
That everyone was excited for, and because we fucking let our, I don't know if that was just pride fucking with them or what, but like, bro, Silent Hills was gonna make fucking money. Like, money.
As far as I know, what happened was that the people in charge of the money like had changed.
Yeah.
And the guy was just so like into the idea that their gyms and pachinko machines were making more money.
Yep.
They didn't think about it.
Yeah, and you know what? I understand that. It's just that then they keep going, and then it's like they keep remembering that they have video games. It's like, oh yeah, we gotta. Is it Halloween? Do you have the Pyramid Head model from Silent Hills? Put that in Metal Gear Survive. They'll like that.
People will love that shit.
It's like, God damn, dude, fuck off.
I'm just glad they re-released Castlevania, Rondo of Blood.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Yet another franchise that they haven't done shit with in. I mean, when was Lords of Shadow 2? That was the last one.
That was like 2016, 2015, and that game was awful.
Yeah. Poorly received, badly. It's just like,
and I liked the first one.
Fuck, Konami. Like, just give them. Don't even give them away. Don't sell your properties, but just like hire a studio. I'm sure there's plenty of studios in the world that would be like, oh, I'd love to make a new. Hire Platinum. They don't seem to give a shit.
Yeah,
It'd be like, Platinum, make a new Castlevania game. Hey, look at
I'd
that.
play the shit out of that.
Yeah. Like character act. You remember the one that was
Well, Lords of Shadow was a character action game though.
No, but I'm thinking more of like what was the Thing of Innocence or whatever that was like a kind of a DMC Devil May Cry ripoff.
Lemon of Innocence.
Yeah.
Which is the one that has Leon Belmont in it.
There you go.
We mentioned earlier.
Fuck that guy.
That game was really fun. I almost beat it, but death is stupid fucking hard, and he's the last boss in it.
Oh, I hated that game so much.
I liked it a lot, but it was very hard.
I bought it for money and then halfway through turned it off and was like, "No, sir, I'm not interested in it. Nope, not my."
You can buy it for PS4 actually too.
What did I just get done saying?
I'm just saying.
You're saying to the people, not
telling
to
the people. It's on PS4.
I don't want to buy it, Michael.
It's technically the first game in the timeline.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to some nice trailers. We got a new trailer for an announcement for Layers of Fear 2, which has a subtitle.
It's way too many layers.
Project Menace. Did you ever play Layers of Fear?
I don't remember it if I did.
So it was like you were like going back to your dad's house, who was like a painter that went crazy, and so there was all this kind of like weird stuff. What I found odd about Layers of Fear is I'm pretty sure the Layers of Fear was like a walking simulator, right? That
as far as I remember, yeah.
There wasn't like any real, might have been minor puzzles, but not that much. This one seems to take place on there's a ship, and it's movies, like it's like kind of talking about like an actor instead of a painter. So, which I think could be really interesting. I kind of like a lot of this trailer has this old timey, kind of movie filter, grain filter stuff over it.
It could be good.
Yeah.
It's very cryptic. It
is very cryptic. Yeah. I don't know.
It's got a lot of layers.
It's got 2. 2 layers. It doesn't stand up to a 7-layer burrito from Taco Bell.
No.
Man, I wish Taco Bell would sponsor me with taco. Do you know that this water bullshit in Austin, all the Taco Bells are shut down?
Is that true?
Yes.
I did not know that.
I know because I went to Taco Bell and I was like, no, I'll go to the other Taco Bell. What? Both Taco Bells are closed?
Yeah, I can't get sodas at a Burger King. Makes me sad. You're like, you want orange juice with your burger? No, fuck no. What's wrong with you people?
Like Pete Terry's is like, we have milk, we have milkshakes, and I'm like,
well, that's better, I guess.
I mean, I guess a hamburger with milk is. I guess I feel like it's like Sunday afternoon and Mom has made us a snack after playing outside or something.
Sounds like an old timey thing, which I'm cool with.
I'd like a double hamburger and a tall glass of milk, please.
Got milk.
Anyway, Layers of Fear 2 looks pretty good. Oh, also narrated by Tony Todd, which is great.
Yeah, I think
Candyman himself, Mr. Tony Todd. Let's see. From there, we have a couple of different Hitman trailers. Yeah, I know. Fuck you. But it's Hitman, and I love it. So, fast forward on your podcast app by a minute or two because I don't care. A lot of games have a lot of trailers, but I'm watching all the Hitman trailers.
Hitman trailers are good.
Yeah, we had the Untouchable trailer that showed off a lot of the new locations. Previously, we had just seen Miami with the race, and the one I think it's like Colombia out in the jungle or whatever. Here, there's like a beachy one. There's like a kind of looks like favelas or like a
South American.
Yeah, very kind of like crowded streets. Man, this game is looking
it's looking great.
Fucking great, man.
Also, what I enjoy about the trailers a lot of times is new ways they can murder things.
Oh, also there's it's like a suburban looking level, which I think the last time there was a suburban level in a game was in. Was that Blood Money or was it 3?
I mean, any game recently that has a suburban level?
Yeah, in Hitman. No, in Hitman.
Oh, in Hitman itself.
Because there was one where it was like a mobster birthday party.
Yeah.
Because there's a great video where the guy runs in and scares everybody in the house. He doesn't ever fire a shot, but he runs in, runs all through the house. The target gets spooked, runs out the front door, and the mercenary backup coming to aid him runs him over and kills him, and then 47 just runs away, and it's just like,
That's amazing.
yes. I think it might have been. It's either 3 or Blood Money, but
I think it's Blood Money actually.
I think it is Blood Money.
I remember seeing a Let's Player where they just kept killing the clown, but only the clown.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, like, this is what's actually really interesting about this trailer is that a lot of the voiceover is Diana, and then the antagonist character from Hitman 2016, who is like manipulating 47 into doing stuff. So, I actually am really curious to know whether Hitman 2 is going to essentially finish the Hitman story, because 2016 Hitman had a story, but it seems like they pivoted at the last minute on the Hokkaido level to give themselves a to be continued for another game. But in any case, it looks just gorgeous, just fucking gorgeous. Like, and not only that, but with a trailer from something you don't normally see a lot. It's a briefcase trailer.
I have to admit, it's actually probably my favorite of the 2 trailers, though.
It's such a good trailer. The briefcase is back in Hitman, but like, because Hitman is the best and the greatest, and ain't no one better. Like, you can hit somebody with the briefcase. You can throw the briefcase at somebody. You can throw the briefcase as a distraction. You can even have NPCs pick up your briefcase and take it somewhere so you can smuggle items through areas where you're going to get frisked on the way in.
Yeah, and it can carry more than sniper rifles.
More than a sniper rifle. You can put a bunch of different stuff in it.
You can put your keys in there.
Yeah.
You can hide your weed in there.
Put your special documents in there. Like, the thing that's really strange about it, though, is that the animation they use for throwing it is he uses both hands over his head to throw it. Oh yeah, you could throw it. You could throw it like over a wall and then like pick up whatever's in it later. Like, wow, look at all the things you could do with this one piece of
It's
little
actually really cool
gameplay equipment. And it's one of the other things I really like about the Hitman trailers is that, like, this trailer just told you an awful lot about how you could play this new game that's coming out.
I never thought I'd be excited at the use of a briefcase in a video game.
Yeah, but I love the way he like holds the thing over his head and then throws it at people.
It's the way it flips around when it's launched. I think it makes it
just going end over end. So anyway, Hitman's coming out. It's coming out, and I couldn't be happier. I'm so excited about it, Michael, that I pre-ordered it because I wanted to get the sniper mission and play that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then they did this because it's Warner Brothers, because I don't think that IO would do this because I love them, because they made a game I love. So Warner Brothers, I believe, did that thing where if you buy the gold version of Hitman, it comes out on like next Friday, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And then if not, it comes out the Tuesday after that. And I bought the standard edition, but I want to play it on Friday. But I'm not really willing to buy a second copy of Hitman. Spend $160 on Hitman?
I feel like you can.
Is that what you're telling me?
I feel like you can. Well, probably, but no. I feel like you can ask the support maybe for some help for that.
Yeah, it's weird because they don't have an option on the PlayStation Store to like upgrade your pre-order. But maybe I'll send them an email.
I'd send them a message. Yeah,
see what I can do.
Like, hey, I want to give you more money.
Yes,
help me.
Please allow me to give you more money. Also, could you look at my transaction history, because I give you motherfuckers a lot of fucking money. All right. I don't want to be that guy.
Also, send Timothy Oliphant to my house.
Sure. Him and I can play Spyro the Reignited Trilogy together.
Spyro.
I'm sorry. That's the way it looks, the way it's spelled.
It's spelled Spyro, like, clearly. It's the word spy and row.
Look, Gyro is Jyro. Okay?
Is it?
Yes.
I thought it was Euro. What are we talking about?
The Greek rap.
Oh, I was thinking of the money.
No. Euros are EURO. Euros are GYRO.
Now I'm
Spyro is SPYRO. Spyro is the game that we're talking about.
Now I'm just confused.
What are your thoughts? You like? Do you play Spyro? I
played the original Spyro, which I liked a lot, but I never played the sequels.
I missed this whole thing in gaming, right? Like the
3D platform,
the kind of 3D platform character action Mario, Crash,
Spyro, Gex, Croc the
Jack and Daxter, Banjo-Kazooie,
Blink the Time Cat. That was an Xbox game, so that doesn't count.
But hey, you know what?
Spyro is huge though, and like for a lot of people, there's a lot of people who still love Spyro to death.
It looks really good. Like
and it's
all
normal
the,
Spyro again because
all
all
the
we get now
graphics.
are Skylander games too.
Skylander though, like I feel like kind of got away from Spyro at a certain point.
Yeah,
so.
but for a long time, that's all we had.
Yeah.
For like a long time. So.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? The only Star Fox game you got is Starlink, so
Yeah.
there's that too. But yeah, this trailer looks really nice. As much as like, I mean, all the art style on the remastered stuff is really good looking. It looks very good, very well put together.
Also, it looked like they put a lot of work into redesigning the dragons that you rescue too.
Yeah, I don't know what the original ones looked like, but these
They're very generic.
Oh, they were okay, because these definitely look like they're from a Pixar movie. Like everything kind of looks like it's from a Pixar movie, which it's fine. So yeah, there's that. There's also a very strange trailer for Just Cause 4 that we got. The panoramic trailer where it's got like, it's like in the
It's huge.
What do they used to call that? It's like the Spectre Vision or like the back in the olden days, like Lawrence of Arabia was shot in like 70 millimeter, like ultra super wide.
I can't remember, but there was a great. You just reminded me of an old Mad TV skit.
Yeah,
where it was like ultra widescreen mode, and it was a movie starring Steven Seagal. And so like it shows like even the people working on the. Like in the background, there's a guy like eating from the crafts table, and Steven Seagal just kills him.
Hey, you know what? We were talking before we started when we were watching this. I feel real bad for Far Cry 4, Michael. I feel like this would have been the perfect game to come out during the summertime when there wasn't
You're
like
talking
a
about
whole
Just Cause 4.
Just Cause 4, yeah, but Far Cry.
So you're fusing things together,
right? Because, like, bro, come on. We got Red Dead and Hitman and Battlefield 5 isn't out yet.
So
and
many
like
fucking things.
There's so many things coming out, and like this game looks fun. Like it's just a bunch of explosions and tornadoes and Rico Rodriguez fucking flying on his wingsuit and shit. Like
it's a great time to be a gamer, but also a bad time to be a gamer because your wallet's just screaming at you.
Yeah. Like Netflix, also Netflix has 100 shows a week, so
yeah, like there's new shows constantly, new games constantly,
yep,
new movies too. It's like fuck, I don't have time for all this shit anymore.
Yep, it's true. It's very true. But it looks really cool, and I don't know why this trailer is in this aspect ratio. I guess it's for people that have like a big monitor set up, or you know what? Again, Brian Brushwood has one of those ultra widescreen monitors that has the curve.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it would look really good on one of those.
Oh, maybe.
Also, I just realized that this YouTube video goes up to 4K, basically.
Oh, shit. Yeah. So well, maybe that's what it wants.
Yeah, that's what you want.
I haven't even finished Fist of the North Star yet.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I want. That's the Caligula Effect Overdose, which is a real weird-looking video game.
It's Japanese as fuck.
Oh, yeah, it is. Like, you know what? I feel like I want to say to people, hey there, gentle listener, are you a fan of Danganronpa? Maybe check out the Caligula Effect, because it looks like it's kind of as weird. Not exactly, but, like, there's a lot of weirdness going on in this trailer. There's, like, a bunch of students. And
if you like the weirdness of
blasting.
Danganronpa and RPG elements, then yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's okay. If you like any Japanese RPG that's very similar to the Persona 3 high schooler thing, then go for this.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to be.
Yeah. Except the only problem is that they have the one lady that's like, oh, she's a mute, and then she just talks a whole bunch during this trailer.
She's got a robot mouth or some shit.
Apathetic mute. She's got it's a gas mask. It's not a robot mouth.
No, but it's got like a speaker or something.
Okay.
She's supposed to be mute, but she still fucking talks. Doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yep. This looks like some kind of weird VR Alice in Wonderland meets fucking Danganronpa. So
sure, let's go with that.
I liked their last game, which was Lost Dimension, which Brian Salisbury and I played. There's a Dojo Mini for it if you'd like to catch some highlights.
Oh yeah, I remember that one now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And last but not least, we got a new Jump Force trailer. Michael,
speaking of Fist of the North Star,
take it away.
So these two characters are known mostly for City Hunter and Fist of the North Star, which are two of the oldest shonen animes, because they were made in like the early 80s and they're violent as fuck. But they're very much those, like, City Hunter is just more of a realistic kind of thing, whereas Kenshiro, we all know, is the Mad Mix and the Kung Fu
Right.
And it's the fucking best because Kenshiro has his older outfit, which I think looks pretty fucking rad.
Yep.
And City Hunter doesn't get a lot of love, which is a shame because it's a great anime.
Yeah.
Jackie-chan made a movie based on it.
A release date, February next year, February 2019.
Yeah.
So I'm not really getting into this one, but hey, you know what?
Maybe it might have a My Hero Academia character later. You don't know.
See, the problem is that the number of characters that I don't care about is already so much larger than the number of characters that I do care about. It's like I feel like I just want you and John to play this game, and I'll sit there and go.
I'm waiting for JoJo characters to be announced, though.
Are they part of the?
They're part of the Shonen
Jump
universe,
Force, yeah, or Jump Magazine, right?
Yeah. So when the last Jump game came out, they only had Jonathan and Joseph Joestar.
You should be mad at that franchise for making you say things that sound so silly. All right, let's wrap it up with a few more things real quick here. Hey, PC Master Race people who are tired of me talking about Red Dead. We had a rumor, a brief retailer listing in Europe that Red Dead 2 might have a PC release in 2019. These are completely unsubstantiated, and you know how retailers are, but they tend to be getting. It's such a crapshoot. Could be something, could be nothing. I'd be willing to bet that it's something. I'd be willing to bet that they probably will launch the online mode as soon as they can in early 2019 and then get the PC version out later in the year.
I think it's a good idea, so we can see the weird fucking mods people will make for this.
You know what I really want is to be able to lift, because there was a John Marsden model in Grand Theft Auto 5 that was part of Grand Theft Auto Online, because remember that John Marsden could be one of the fathers, right? Except that it was only like it was what they call a 2T shot, where it's like from below your nipples up.
Yeah.
And that was all that existed of the character model, so he didn't have arms or a torso or anything, because somebody like pulled that model out and put him into Grand Theft Auto 5. And I was like, man, I wonder if I could convince Jason to play Grand Theft Auto 5 if there was a mod that had like a full-on John Marsden model, or was just fucking John Marsden rolling around Grand Theft Auto 5. But so what I'm really interested in is pulling a good John Marsden model out of Red Dead.
Because he's in 2, right?
Yeah. You know what? I would actually be better.
I just started it, so
is you must have just started. Is Red Dead 2 maybe the other things that when things get on the PC right like that, I feel like Red Dead 2 on the PC with mod tools is the beginning of the let's go remake Red Dead 1 for the PC project, right? Like they do, like a lot of. I think there's at least 3 teams that are like remaking New Vegas and Fallout 4 right now. So
there's somebody's remaking something right now.
Yes,
and getting a cease and desist letter like a month later.
Yes, indeed. Let's see. You can't play it on the PC, but pretty soon on the Switch, you're going to be able to check out Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 4 in 2019, which Resident Evil 4, I mean, that's been out on everything, but 0, I feel like is a little bit harder because wasn't that licensed to the to the GameCube? Because it was a GameCube game?
Yeah, 0 was a GameCube game, and 4 was also, I wonder if, I hope the version of 4 they're coming out with is not the GameCube one, though.
Well, pretty sure it's the version that's already on the PS4 and whatever, the HD version. So, I got to just check. Is Resident Evil 0 on the PC?
I don't know, but I do remember it coming out for the GameCube, because all 3 of those came out on the GameCube at some point.
Yes, it is out for the PC. So, but hey, you know what? You're going to take some Resident Evil on the go? That's a good game.
Those are good ones to have
Switch
on there, though.
Yep. And let's see, almost last but certainly not least, if you are into zombies and you're looking forward to Days Gone, it's been delayed.
Oh, man.
That's the biker game on the PlayStation with the big hordes of zombies. It's going to be coming out on April 26th now, so you're going to have to wait a little bit longer.
It's the one with the guy from Force Unleashed.
Yes.
And Smallville.
And before we take a break, allow me to just spend, because it wouldn't be a Rage Select podcast unless I spent 5 minutes gushing about Overwatch, so we got some new Overwatch Lego kits.
Oh, nice.
There is, let's see if I can find this picture viewer sucks. Okay, wait, can I make this bigger? There we go. So we already had a Bastion, but we've seen now that we've got a So the Bastion was like a figure, like a big figure.
Yeah.
This is the regular characters look like they're minifig sized, like they're just regular. So Tracer, Widowmaker, and then the ship from, I believe, that short from, what was it, the second short? That's one of them. We've got a Mercy and Winston with a rocket ship, and I can't tell who that. Oh no, that's just another piece. Is that?
No,
Oh,
I
no.
think that's a guy.
Is that
Pretty sure that's Reaper. Yeah, I can see him on the corner on the left side.
Okay. We got looks like a Hanamura, the shrine at Hanamura with Genji and Hanzo, and a screaming businessman with a gun.
He's a Yakuza guy, I think.
Yeah. And then I think there's one more. There's a Reinhardt and a Diva. The Reinhardt is actually a big statue again, which I really like the look of that more than the minifig. And then I feel like Diva works really well for a little minifig that goes inside of the mech, into her mech. And then of course there's also one from God, I forget what the name of this area is in Overwatch.
It's like the Mexico one.
Yeah, that has Soldier 76, Reaper, and McCree in it.
I just want that one because I like two of those characters a lot.
Yeah, me too. I like Soldier 76 a lot. What was the name of it? God damn it!
I don't remember the level's name, to be honest.
God, it's gonna bother me. So, look, there's a little Reinhardt minifig. I feel like that goes inside of the big robot suit. So
That's pretty cool.
Yep. Anyway, I don't know.
Was it a 2-pack?
Yeah, I think that a lot of these are in multi packs. So yeah, Diva and Reinhardt. That one's pretty cool. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and take a break because we have some emails to get
go
to.
Protect the payload.
We gotta go. You gotta go move the payload. We'll be right back. And we're back. Michael, are you ready?
Sure.
Are you ready?
I got water.
You braced?
After, defeating the Huns or whatever.
Yeah. But what I didn't tell you was I actually just put straight tap water in there. I need to see if the situation in Austin is really as bad as they say it is. So let me know if you're violently ill. No, I would never.
It's Michael's secret stuff. It'll be fine.
I would never. I would never. By the way, for all of you who don't know, because it occurs to me that nobody else probably knows this,
yeah.
Austin has this thing where like the lake flooded into the aquifer with this silt that has bacteria in it. So like we're currently in this thing where they want you to boil water before you drink it, and blah, blah, or brush your teeth or do anything because there's a potential for bacteria. So basically, for the last like 5 or 6 days in Austin, it's been like, one, they don't want you to use very much water, and two, if you do use it, you're supposed to boil it first, and it sucks. It's just an inconvenient, shitty thing.
And 3, all the water is gone from every HEB within like a 20-mile radius.
Yes. Well, no, a lot of them are back.
Okay.
Like yesterday, I went to HEB, and there was like full on, the whole water aisle was stocked, and then there were like cases sitting in front of the water aisle.
Oh, okay.
So, but like, yeah, the first day, Austin does this shit where it's like, oh no, the roads are iced over, and then everybody goes to the grocery store and buys like 100 years worth of food. Like all the beans are gone, and all the rice, and it's like, guys,
and the milk and bread for some reason.
Yep, milk and bread, like candles. Like you figure it's the apocalypse anytime anything happens in Austin. Last time, I think it was like when we were under
it was the hurricane,
a hurricane watch, and that was when I still was dating, and like the night before it hit, I like. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I was like grilling like a bunch of chicken. I made a bunch of different like things. I was like, look, we got a whole refrigerator full of food here. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It'll be fine.
I went to an HEB right after work, forgetting that the hurricane was happening.
Oh.
And I was like, this was a terrible decision.
Yep. Anyway, mailrageselect.com is the email address. Our first question this week is coming to us from VJ. VJ says, hey guys, VJ here with a downer question. Oh, bam.
Right away.
Starting things off right. Okay. So I recently started watching My Hero Academia.
I did too.
And got triggered by the main character's motivation to surpass his childhood bully. I went through a similar experience as a child where this older kid would gaslight me, saying that I would never be as smart / strong / talented as him. At some point, Ties had to be cut due to some unsavory things. Fortunately, my 10-year-old brain locked everything up, and I was able to thrive until now. However, after seeing excuse me. After seeing Izuki bend over backwards to say good things about Katsuki, who's just an unrelenting asshole to him, I had to stop watching. So my question is, what are some seemingly admirable character traits that you don't agree with? For me, it's when good people will do some incredible mental gymnastics to give credit to irredeemable fucksticks because the latter are rich/talented/religious/family men. I believe this sort of mentality condones abusive behavior, and it needs to stop. Sorry for the bummer. Had no other outlet. Thanks for answering my question and rage on. That's from VJ. So what are some seemingly admirable character traits that you don't agree with?
I'm not sure on that one too much.
It's kind of an interesting question.
I guess one of them tends to just be, like overworking yourself to help out somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think those... like, they're admirable, but after a while, like, it takes its toll on the person very quickly.
I'll tell you, it's interesting that you bring that up because, as I was talking about in the very intro to this video, like, I feel that we have this whole thing where everybody wants to, like, be busy, right? Everybody's just like, oh, my God, there's so many things. And part of where I am now in my life, I'm in a kind of a recovery mode right now because for the last year between having a serious relationship and having a full-time second job and working 10 Rage Select videos every week, I was just like, I was getting fucked. Like I was just burned out. And part of me had to kind of, I remember like back when I was younger, even when I was going to school, it was like, all right, well, I work part-time and I go to school and I come and do my homework. Then relax, play some video games, watch TV and go to bed. And now it's just like, go, fucking, the water ban and your dog might be sick. And like, Rage Select, they want intros. I got to stream. Red Dead Redemption 2 is out. Like all these things. And I think the idea that we have of like busy equals fulfilled, that like the idea that you have a lot going on. Maybe not even that. Maybe the inverse is true. That the idea that you don't have a lot going on in your life is somehow bad.
Yeah.
Right? That if you're just like, I'd spent the weekend fucking eating KFC and playing JRPGs and I didn't get off the couch. I crapped in a bucket. Well, maybe not the bucket thing, but like, but the idea that somehow having your life be like unrelentingly full is worthwhile, or the opposite, that not having an unrelentingly full life is not worthwhile. Like I haven't just like hung out in a social way with people in, like a couple of months now, but like I kind of been okay with that. It's kind of just been like, I've just kind of been like resting,
which is fine because that's another admirable trait that people say is a good thing that I think is kind of a bad thing. Being a workaholic, like a full-on workaholic.
Yeah,
because recently, well, like speaking of Red Dead Redemption. The 100-hour week stuff. Like people are like, it's admirable that these people are willing to do that. I'm like, is it though? Like, I don't really think it is.
So.
Like,
no.
but among certain people, those are considered admirable traits. Like, I used to think, like for years that being like always at work and only thinking about work as your actual life at that point was a good idea. And then I got fired even after that, and I was like, oh, this is a terrible thing.
Yeah,
you shouldn't think like that kind of thing.
Yeah. The one that came to mind when I was kind of thinking about this was I don't really know how to describe this, but like the disaster lone wolf, right? Of just like, I don't need anybody.
Oh yeah,
I do it all by myself, and it's like, oh, bro, that's not how the world works. And it kind of ties back into what we were saying, that the idea that it's somehow like the best is the person who can like, who's just, they're so self-contained that I don't need anybody. I do it all by myself and I'm so strong that I can do everything. It's kind of like again, to go back to something we were talking about before, I don't really give much of a shit about Goblin Slayer, but I fucking love, I understand what VJ here is saying, but like I love the protagonist of My Hero Academia. Like,
he's the best.
Like he's always just like helping people out, and he like realizes he needs to be kind of part of this brotherhood of heroes, and like all of the different ways that he's connected to other people, and that it's one of the reasons that I get so ranty about like zombie fiction, where they're just like, oh, you can't trust anybody. You gotta do it all by yourself, right? That other people are the enemy. We have to be self-sufficient and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, but that's not how the world works.
That's the funniest thing about post-apocalyptic ones, where they're like, you always have to do everything yourself. But the opposite, whenever that guy exists in fiction, that's usually to teach him a lesson about teamwork, usually by the time it's done.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, but you're said in the opposite, that's not the point. It's like, okay, sure, I guess.
That or just like that kind of like I don't like fiction where extreme like nihilistic paranoia is rewarded, where people are like, you can't trust people. People will always fuck you over. And then like there's some stuff sometimes in fiction where it's like, see, they will all fuck you over. And it's like, yeah, you're going to get fucked over. We all get fucked from time to time, but like, don't make a religion out of it. Like, there's going to be plenty of people out there who aren't going to fuck you over. And like, if you just let, that kind of thing, again, it kind of comes back sometimes to zombie fiction about how like, oh, man is the greatest evil. And it's like, yeah, sort of, but man also is the reason that all this shit exists, right? Like the fact that we dumb monkeys can work together, like, we've conquered the world, Michael. Yeah. We conquered this entire world. We've conquered illness and death in a lot of ways. We've conquered nature and our environment. We've conquered so many things. Hunger, in a lot of ways, we have overcome huge amounts of like poverty, information, ignorance, like spirituality. We have made so many strides throughout our existence on this planet that the idea that it's just like humanity is terrible. It's like, no, it's not. Like we have sewer systems and like schools and like
it's like there's a lot of cool shit going on right now.
Like do you know polio used to kill people and cripple people for life, and like we don't have that problem anymore, motherfucker. You know,
it's like, and actually about his thing, I get why he had those issues, because I had similar things.
Yeah,
kind of thing, and I remember, it did kind of bother me at first, but then but it's one of those things where it's like, but I was that kid either way who was always like, well, that dude is a giant asshole, but these are things that I kind of like about the guy.
She's talking about the main character and then the explosion hands guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I was
because in the beginning he's like extra shitty.
Oh yeah,
like beyond extra shitty.
Because I think I always think of it as was Bakugo is his name in
Bakugo.
The show, and then. Is it Ida that's the main guy?
No, Midori is the main guy.
Yeah.
Ida's the guy with the glasses and the engine lights.
These are their last names, right? Is that what? Because I just want to make sure that I'm not thinking of two different characters. Because
for which one?
For the in the question. Okay. Yes.
No,
okay.
because he's
just using the last name or the first names.
First names.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting though, because you have just been binge watching My Hero Academia.
I just started it like no more than like 3 days ago.
And I'm
like 30 episodes in.
I feel like the relationship between those two changes a lot. Like it
drastically.
It really morphs, and watching it's actually kind of an interesting concept, because the way that Midoriya ends up kind of standing up to Bakugo after he gets into the program, like, is interesting. And the way that he kind of continues to, it's almost like before he enters My Hero Academia, like,
God damn it.
it's like it's like almost like one of his only close contact to the people with quirks is Bakugo. And it's almost like as soon as he's introduced to this larger world, first through, and guys, I'm talking about stuff that happens in like the first 3 episodes. So
this is really like the first season's actually pretty short.
Yeah, but like you think about like the way that he at first is interacting with All Might, and the way that he's kind of like, even though he's seen Bakugo, who's very much kind of like a Might is the true measure of a hero.
Yeah,
that he still idolizes All Might, who is more about like attitude more than power is what makes a hero. And so there's some parts really early on where he kind of finally starts standing up for himself a little bit, which is
even
interesting.
Then you find out like the hatred that Bakugo has towards Deku is purely of his own insecurities.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff. I don't know.
But I get what he means though, because like in real life you don't find out about the guy who's being a douchebag to use insecurities.
Right.
Like, there's no moment where you're like, or
You cut away to his family
or it
life.
cuts away to him getting beat by his dad or something or some shit. Like you don't know these things,
Right.
Like in your own life. Like sometimes, like when a guy who used to bully me a lot, he became super addicted to crack kind of thing.
Oh, jeez.
But I used to admire things about him because he used to be this great kind of athlete kind of guy, even if he was a giant asshole to me. Kind of thing. It's just like, but I didn't know like how bad his home life was, kind of thing. Like I didn't know maybe he was just insecure.
Yeah,
like that's just how his life is basically.
But I can definitely see how, like, if you were first starting to watch My Hero Academia, like in the beginning, Bakugo is he is mega shithead.
He's
like
mega shitty in the first couple episodes,
and Midoriya just like fucking takes it, like takes it on the chin.
It's hard to blame him though, because it's a world where like this dude can blow shit up by just touching you.
Yeah.
It's like fuck, like it's hard, and he's the non-powered dude surrounded by powered people. It's like it's hard to be like stand up for yourself. It's like no, that dude's gonna blow me the fuck up.
Right.
It's like okay, fair enough. I'm not gonna like give you shit for that.
yeah. It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting. It also, I mean, like, and this is not, I mean, not to excuse it as a thing, but like he makes a good foil for Midoriya, like for him to try to get better, is because he's always like striving to be better because he's very clumsy with his powers, and you've got this guy who's had these powers for a long time.
It's the shonen rivalry relationship that happens. Like it's the Goku Vegeta relationship, kind of, except the opposite.
And so VJ, I understand. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, that relationship is very strong, very early on, and like I feel like the more you go into the series, the more, because who's the guy with the hot and cold sides, like
Shoto.
Yeah, he becomes much more important very quickly than Bakugo.
Yeah, like he becomes more of his friend rival as it progresses. And Bakugo becomes more of a kind of a joke after a while. Like people just sort of make fun of him.
Well, it's interesting because eventually he starts kind of getting called out on his bullshit, right?
It's the best because he acts exactly the way he did in the beginning of the show. Technically, it's just that everyone's like, "Why are you like this? Like, why are you such a dick?"
Right?
It's like I'm not a dick. It's like you are though.
I kind of like the way that the characters start to get less and less scared of him as time goes on. Where they're just like,
It's like, there he goes again.
There he goes again, blasting holes in the walls.
And it's funny because you think back to that first episode, and he's like, "Well, he hasn't actually changed in personality wise. It's just everyone now knows that he's an insecure asshole."
Right. Erase Head's the best.
He is the best. We can't argue that. He is the best.
Nope. Aaron writes in and says, "Dear Texas Rage Select Massacre, it's that time of year again when many games are putting out Halloween events and updates. Overwatch returns with Junkenstein's Revenge, Street Fighter has more spooky costumes, and Monster promised something big on the way. So my question to you is, if you could give a Halloween update to any game, what would it be? Thanks, and have a spectacular holiday from Aaron B." Ooh.
Mario Party.
Mario Party? Oh, I can see that. Just kind of like redo the levels, make them dark. Like
like you could have some fun with that sort of thing. Like make Halloween themed like mini games and shit. I think you could actually have a lot of fun that way.
You know, I feel like games have stopped doing as many like holiday themed things. Like MMOs do, but like I feel like there was the heyday when Saints Row 4 had their like Christmas DLC. And every year I'm like on the lookout for that Christmas DLC. I don't know. I'm trying not to go with any Jeff. Can't
really make a Halloween update to Bloodborne before you say anything like that.
I can
make do the opposite. You should make a Santa Claus, like a super cheery version of Bloodborne.
You know, what'd be funny is if you made like a Halloween update for like Bloodborne or Dark Souls, but all it was just
you have witches hats.
No. Well, there's witches hats in those games already, but you know I
mean like characters that don't have it just have it.
Oh yeah, everybody's got a witch hat. That's the update. Well, you know what? You know what's actually really interesting is that Dark Souls Demon Souls. Back in the old days, Demon Souls had their online servers. Right? They had dedicated servers, and they had what was like world tendency, right? So your world tendency would go light or dark depending on what you did in Demon Souls. Like if you died in human form in Demon Souls, it would shift your world more towards darkness. And like if you killed NPCs, would shift your world towards darkness. And what that would do is it would make the game harder, but it would give you better drops. And if you shifted the world towards light, it would make the game easier, but not as good drops from people. They had a thing where on Valentine's Day, they would use the server to make everyone's game go to full light. And on Halloween, they would make everyone's game go to full darkness, right?
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was thinking no, but what I was saying was, those crappy plastic Halloween masks that like in kids' costumes used to have, where it's just like kind of like the Michael Myers mask, right? But it was like half in front and it had the little rubber band around the back. I'm thinking that in like Dark Souls and Bloodborne, it's just those masks, but it's just all for the NPCs in the game. So you just like can have yourself like a Patches mask, but it looks stupid on your character.
God, that would actually sounds kind of fun.
You know what would actually be really cool is again, I'm trying. Look, I'm going to make some other suggestions, but I'm trying to get out of my headspace. Is Hitman, right? Because it's got all the costumes, right? So you'd have a bunch of Halloween costumes that you could dress up as that would have different like minor effects, right? So like in Hitman 2016 when they did the it was like the Game of the Year edition or whatever, they had a clown costume and then they had a bat. It was like the clown bat that had these streamers on it. And if you were wearing the clown costume, you could carry the clown bat and nobody would. You were technically carrying a weapon, but people wouldn't scream and run away from you. So you could literally just like whack people upside the head. And when you did, a bunch of confetti came out and it went.
I'm trying to think of games that like are that I would like, definitely a Halloween kind of thing. Like I keep thinking of like Nintendo games because I'm thinking of things that I would find funny, which are just taking something that's slightly innocent and making it slightly fucked up.
Yeah,
like a Star Fox Halloween special, essentially, I think would be kind of fun, or a Yoshi's Island one.
You saw the Mario Odyssey Halloween costume that's like zombie Mario,
yeah,
the axe in his head and everything.
Like I love stuff like that. Like that's why I was such a big fan of Luigi's Mansion when it was first announced, because it was one of those like when I was a kid when it was first announced, because it was the idea of like Luigi fighting ghosts. I thought was kind of amazing to me.
You know what? Bethesda. Like I remember around Christmas time that I was trying to think about ways to do like Skyrim videos for Christmas, and there's all these mods for Skyrim that put like Christmas trees and stuff in towns.
Yeah.
But you have to like load up a whole bunch of them. I think it'd be really cool if Bethesda took some of these mods, maybe worked with the mod guys or whatever, and created like, hey, it's Christmas in Skyrim, and you can just turn it on if it's around the holidays. And so there's snow and there's lights and there's big Christmas trees everywhere. And there's different like things in the different cities have different types of decorations. And it'd be cool if it was like they had a Halloween thing where it was kind of like dark all the time and like the spooky stuff, and there were more, I don't know, like vampires in the world, right? Like they already have a bunch of stuff where they could do it just by remixing what they already have. It's just, it'd be funny to see people like in Skyrim with dopey costumes on, or in like the Fallout world with kind of dopey costumes on. So, you know what would be really cool? It'd be really cool. This you have to go way back. Like Mass Effect 3. If there was like a Halloween DLC for Mass Effect 3 where it was like the Citadel, they're having like it's the Festival of the Ancients on the Citadel, and we all dress up and throw rocks at each other or something like that.
Like you can collect candy still.
Yeah.
You can unlock stuff with like stuff like that I think was fun. I always appreciate Easter egg ones too, like the what was it, Arkham City with Calendar Man. I thought it was a lot of fun.
What was that? Where it was like on a specific day?
Yeah, on specific days, if you go down there, like if on holidays, like you'll talk to him and he'll just be like, "Happy Halloween, Batman." And you're just like, "What the fuck?" And then like, because I remember when that happened, I forgot it was Halloween. I was like, "Oh, I guess it is Halloween."
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to think of like if I could come up with a good way to make Resident Evil 7 have like Halloween content, but I was thinking just like dumb like
just like those weird colorful letters that.
Or
people
like
put on top of things.
like the little pumpkins in a streamer that you can hang from the ceiling, and like I don't know. You know what? Capcom loves to do this shit. Maybe have like a bunch of like toggleable costumes that you could put on like the mold guys and like your wife and like the other characters that show up in the game. Like
I just thought of one, Yakuza.
Oh, Yakuza would be great.
Love to have, Yakuza Halloween.
That'd be great. It'd be great.
Kazuma walking around beating up large trick or treaters.
Oh, Majima would be down for some Halloween
Absolutely.
like craziness. He paid all his guys to be zombies and attack you in the first game. So he wanted to see how you'd react to the zombie apocalypse. I'm trying to think of anything else that would technically say God of War, maybe.
I'd play that.
Oh, you know what? Spider-Man would be great if they actually had a Halloween segment in Spider-Man, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
They were all dressed up. Maybe you
I
could
was
just
wearing
be
the
like,
2099 outfit when I did that part.
so you were already dressed up.
Yeah, I was super excited when I had it.
So there you go, Aaron.
Yeah.
Bunch of Halloween things would be pretty cool. Let's see. Blurred Without Fear writes in and says, longtime fan. He said, "Hey guys, longtime fan and longtime lurker since the website that cannot be named. I have a question. I heard on a recent episode that you don't do comic books anymore because it's an expensive hobby. Something I completely understand. My question for you would be this: are there any comic book characters that you could not bring yourself to read? For love or money, they just don't interest you, no matter how hard you try. Me personally, I've never been able to care about Iron Man stories. He's just boring to me. MCU Tony Stark is cool, but comic book Tony Stark is a tool and reminds me of people that I don't like associating with." And he says, also, I'll read this. He says, also, you don't have to read this on the show, but if you're interested in getting back into comics without making a huge investment, use a YouTube channel, Blurred Without Fear, BLERD Without Fear. I make videos on comic books every week, and who knows, maybe I'll dig up some of my content. If you're ever interested, check it out. Thanks for reading my question. Blurred Without Fear. So, comic book characters that you just have no interest in whatsoever.
I find that harder and harder nowadays because I end up just reading a lot of different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Although, like, there's still chunks of people that I'm just like, don't really bother reading them anymore. Like, I don't really read X-Men anymore.
Yeah.
Not because I hate X-Men, but it's just that it's so utterly fucking convoluted that I have no idea what's happening anymore. like with recently I was trying to read it, and it's like, whoa, these are the X-Men, the original X-Men from the past, but they're in the future.
Oh, right.
Because we were trying to teach adult Cyclops a lesson about something, but now they're stuck in the present. I'm like, yeah, I don't care anymore.
You lost me.
Like Aquaman is definitely one of those. Like, it's not that, like, I just don't care about Aquaman and his characters. Wonder Woman, not because I hate Wonder Woman, it's just I don't really care about her as a character either.
So,
Cyborg.
I don't know if it for me, I guess what it comes down to is who's writing. Like, I don't care about characters, I care about writers. Like, I have writers, like, I learned a long time ago when I first started reading comics. I read comics when I was very, very young, but it was, and then like later on in the 90s, I started reading comics, and I was reading mostly like X-Men and a few other things, and I was very much into artists. So I'd like read anything that Jim Lee was drawing, or anything that Todd McFarlane, Spider-Man's, right, or like Joe Quesada, or like, there were artists that I was following that I really liked. That was back when Image was doing their thing, and it was just like, oh man. And I was very much into the art. Like, I was very much into what it looked like.
Yeah.
And then it's like I got bored and I quit reading comics. And mostly, like, bro, I don't know where you were during this time, but like, you get fucking worn the fuck out by Image Comics in the first 2 years they were in operation.
They were pretty weird about what they came out with back then.
Yeah. Number one after number one. Spawn always took like a million years to come out. And like, it's like Savage Dragon was the one where it's just like every month without fail, there's a new fucking Savage Dragon. But like, Wetworks and Stormwatch.
World of Liefeld was making a lot of random shit.
Wildcats and what was his one? Youngblood.
Oh yeah,
Youngblood.
There was a lot of weird fucking characters.
And then there was like the Pit and the Max, and
the Max is awesome though.
Yeah, Max is pretty cool. Except that like I didn't ever finish it, right? I read about half of it.
Finished it.
I don't even know if it finished. So
he's got a crossover with Batman right now.
The Max is?
Yeah, I found this out like a week ago.
Wait, is that comic still going on?
Apparently.
Oh, jeez. All right. And then I quit, and then I've told the story before. Chris Robertson, who wrote Superman for a while, I guess.
Oh yeah,
I think he created iZombie, the comic, if I'm not mistaken, or
I feel like he did, but I'm not sure. I don't know enough about that.
I worked with him at Dell years and years ago. We sat across from each other for a couple years, and he bought comics all the time, and he would buy his comics, bring them to work to read, and then when he went home, he would leave them on his desk so that I could read them. So I basically just read everything that he brought in. And I remember on my birthday one year, he gave me the Watchmen trade. And I was like, all right, fine. Like, I trust your taste. You know, he like Kingdom Come on his desk, and I just read that over and over again. But I was like, I trust your taste in what you're bringing in here. I'll give it a try. So I took Watchmen home and read it, and Watchmen is ugly as fuck. Like, I think that the Watchmen, like, the art is okay, but the colors just
that makes no sense.
like, it's real gross. But I was like, holy shit, this is great. And then it was kind of like we started talking about it, and he was like, yeah, you know, if you read, like, fucking go back and read Alan Moore stuff and, like, Grant Morrison stuff, and, you know, like Garth, go back and read Preacher. Like, Preacher was almost done when I was, you know, reading it. Or like he introduced me to Transmetropolitan when it was halfway through, and I was just like, holy shit. So I'm more of a writer guy than I am a character guy.
And that's a good thing to go by, because, you know, every now and then I'll read a comic, or like there's characters I love. Like during the New 52, this was a huge issue, was that the writers were constantly fucking up these characters.
Yeah.
And the Green Arrow got hit, I think, the hardest for a while. But there's like this small time frame in the New 52 where Jeff Lemire was writing for Green Arrow that's really, really fucking good. And I ended up following that dude from then on, and then he does really good stuff because of it.
Yeah.
And then you get your Scott Lobdell's, though, who are just ruining comics every time they touch them. Like, I started reading Nightwing again, and then he's writing it, and now it's this horrible fucking comic now about, like, because what they did was they shot Nightwing in the head.
Oh, that's good.
And so he's like, now he has I call it gritty amnesia.
Gritty amnesia.
Gritty amnesia, because he doesn't know who he is anymore.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I'm not Nightwing, I'm now Rick Grayson. And I'm like, oh, this is dumb as fuck. This is dumb as fuck.
So I mean, like, I was looking into, like, I like Warren Ellis a lot, right? Like, he wrote the Castlevania on Netflix, and so, like, I remember at one point I acquired like he wrote like a 4-issue Karnak miniseries.
Oh, okay.
And it was just like, I don't give a fuck about Karnak or the Inhumans, but I like this. And like, so like he was like, when I heard that he was doing Moon Knight, I was like, oh, I don't give a fuck about Moon Knight, but I'd be interested in reading Warren Ellis write Moon Knight, because I like the stuff that, you know, from Transmetropolitan to Lazarus Churchyard, and he was back on fucking, he did Excalibur like for a while, back when it was really good. See, that was one of those ones where back in the old days, I always used to look forward to Excalibur, and I was like, why is this comic so much better? Because I bought everything with an X logo on it, right?
Oh, okay.
But like Excalibur was just like leaps and bounds more creative than anything happening in dumbass X-Men. It was because it had a good writer. So
writers make comics go a long way.
Yeah, which I've actually been interested. Who's the guy that everybody likes that did Green Lantern for a while? That created Jeff Johns, yeah.
Jeff Johns does some great work.
I think he's okay, but I don't think, I read a lot of that Green Lantern stuff, and I don't feel like he can finish. Like, a lot of people I feel like don't like Grant Morrison, but at least Grant Morrison knows how to build up to a really spectacular conclusion, where some of the Jeff Johns stuff, it was like, and okay, now it's over. And it was just like, oh, okay. That was like 50% of the climax that I wanted, but not like the real big climax, because we got to set up the next arc that
he
might
did that
pay
with
off.
some Superman stuff. His Superman stuff was really good for a while, and then I think the ending to the new Krypton stuff just sort of happens.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's kind of a bummer.
Like, I really kind of want to read some of Dan Slott's stuff, because everybody says that Dan Slott's really good.
Dan Slott is hit or miss sometimes, though. Like, some of his I love his Amazing Spider-Man run.
Yeah.
But like some of it's kind of weird, and some of it, but like it all ends up paying off at the end.
Okay.
But he has like 10 years worth of Spider-Man shit.
Yeah.
So that's a little like Superior Spider-Man.
Daunting.
It's a little daunting. Like there's chunks of Superior Spider-Man I didn't like, because it was like I felt like he was writing Peter kind of weird. Because like there's like a ghost Peter that follows the Superior Spider-Man for the first chunk of it.
Right.
And I remember hating that stuff. And then until after that happened, after, you know, that's taken care of, it's like, okay, well, the series gets a little better again.
Yeah.
And he's writing Fantastic Four right now, which I think is okay. But it just started, so I don't know how.
I want to say, what's
go after that?
What the fuck is the guy who wrote like Ultimate Spider-Man for so long?
Brian
Michael Bendis.
Yeah, he's writing Superman right now.
Oh, okay. So I remember back in the old days, it was like it'd go to the comic book store and it'd just be like, all right, Bendis, I'll take all 8 of the things you're writing this month because like he wasn't like spectacular, but Bendis could just churn a story. Like he could just, here's a story, beginning, middle, end. All right, let's do the next one. Here's the next story, beginning, middle, end. All right, here we're gonna restart writing Spider-Man. Guess what? We're gonna do Venom again. We're not going to space. Here's Eddie Brock. And like that was one of those weird things where like I don't know much about Venom, but the Ultimate Spider-Man take on Venom where it's like Eddie Brock knew Peter Parker when he was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like going to college and that like Gwen and Peter run into him and he's like, oh shit, I remember you. And he's like this super cool guy that Peter's looking up to. And Gwen's like, no, man, I know guys like that. Like you need to fucking watch out. Like
he's a crazy
person.
Like
when it goes wrong, he will turn on you in a fucking second. And he's like hitting on Gwen and she's like, I'm 16. And he's like, fucking grass on the field, bro, or whatever. Like, and then so
he's like, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. That doesn't make any sense,
right? So like, I actually really liked Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, that's probably my favorite Spider-Man because
it's good.
What did they?
It's weird after a while, but it's good.
I remember when, I didn't read it for very long. I probably read the first like 5 or 6. Are like trades,
my issue with Ultimate Spider-Man is like everyone in his and literally his aunt knew he was Spider-Man by the time it was done.
Yeah.
This was before he died.
I thought it was interesting because when the Ultimate Universe first launched, I remember going to my comic book store and be like, Brad, what are all these things? And he was like, okay, they're relaunching because nobody knows the continuity anymore. And I was like, oh, are they any good? He's like, yes. Because here's the thing. Ultimate X-Men takes like the first 50 issues of X-Men and puts them into one comic book. And Ultimate Spider-Man takes like the first issue of Spider-Man and makes it like 20 issues, like or like 15 issues. Like there wasn't it wasn't right when they first came out. They've been out for a few months, but he was just like, X-Men really just like hits the ground running and just like goes, and Spider-Man is like stretching it out to give you this kind of, I don't know, it's just like
it's a long origin story.
Yeah, like but it gets you into the character
basis
more.
For most like Spider-Man things now.
Yeah. So I don't know. Even though a lot of that shit, I mean, like I liked the Ultimates. I know that a lot of people don't like. Was that Millar who? Or did he pick it up later?
Yeah, like, I think he picks it up like in 2 or 3.
Like I kind of liked the Ultimate. That's the one where everybody has the picture of Captain America pointing at the A and saying, "Do you think this stands for France?" And they're just like, "Boo!" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. I read that when I was in my 20s, and I was like, yeah, Cap, go get him!"
Yeah,
right?
The Ultimate Universe characters, like at first they start very similar, but then they're just completely fucking different by the time it's done.
Yeah,
it's either good or bad. Like the Fantastic Four one, what they do with Ultimate Fantastic Four.
That's where the zombies came into the Marvel Universe, right?
Yeah, Marvel Zombies was introduced that way. And then not only that, like Reed Richards went fucking crazy, who became a bad guy.
Yeah.
And shit. And then Ben Grimm and Susan Storm get together or something. It was like batshit insane how different it was.
And like Iron Man is a blue kid. Like he's blue because he's got like the brain runs through his entire body, and
I don't. There was a lot of weird shit like that.
A lot of weird shit like that. Yeah.
And then
Spider-Man's really probably just stick with Spider-Man.
Just stick with the Spider-Man part of Ultimate. Like because if you ever read the Ultimate Universe, just read Spider-Man because everything else went off the rails very quickly. Yeah. Like they killed like 90% of the X-Men at one point. It was really fucking.
Well,
weird.
I remember they had that weird like X-Men versus the Avengers.
Well, that was in the main
crossover.
Continuity, though.
No. In the Ultimate Universe, way before that, it was like the Ultimates are bringing in the X-Men, and it was weird. Anyway,
a lot of weird shit going on in that universe.
Man, comics. All right, comics. Jesse writes in and says, "Hey there, Jeff and Michael. If you're not aware, October is Disability Awareness Month. And while Fortnite is always showcasing new features, they added a feature for deaf players. Oh, I didn't know that.
That's cool.
In the settings menu, you can turn on visual cues that tell you what a particular noise is and where it's coming from. On top of that, developers have the foresight to mute the game when you turn on this feature. What are your thoughts on this, and what features would you add to a game to make it accessible but also keep the game fun and fair? Sincerely, Jesse. It says, P.S. Have you ever considered adding closed captioning to your podcasts and videos? Doing so could grow your audience and make your content appear online more easily. If you need help, just let me know. I'm sure there are other deaf people like me who would love to read your content. That's I think that the I don't know if that's I do not have enough time to sit down and like take dictation of what we say on
just
all
says
the
dick joke over and over again.
That's right. Dumb dick joke. Repeat times 50. Thing over. No, I think that there's an option on YouTube where you can have like a community added subtitles.
Yeah, you can actually make people can make their own subtitles for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's used for good. Sometimes it's used to make batshit insane ones.
Okay.
And those can be fun too.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be more interested in if people wanted to submit that, but I just don't know that the viewership is high enough to. I don't know.
I'll just activate it just to see what would happen. To be honest,
I mean, I think that like YouTube has the predictive subtitles, right?
yeah, and they're usually pretty random,
And they're
sometimes
really bad.
very ridiculous. Although I like the idea of like community ones where it just says Matt Frank flails.
Matt Frank screaming times 5. Let's hear. Let's. I'll put on. God damn it! I hate this new YouTube interface. God, it sucks. Every time you go back to classic, it asks you why. And the first 3 times,
Oh, really?
the first time I filled out their thing saying this is way harder to use. I can't open up more than one video. I can't just like do this blah blah. The second time I put just like cause it sucks. And the third time I was like read the first 2, and then from there I just haven't done any. I haven't submitted anything else to it, but. As far as the problem that I have is not necessarily with what features would you add to a game to make it accessible, but also keep it fun and fair. Jesse, the problem that I have with that is that I don't really know how to answer that question because
there's a lot of stuff that's already around now.
Yeah.
That's similar. Colorblind modes for a lot of games.
yeah.
That's something that has been kind of neat because I'm actually partially colorblind for certain things.
Yeah.
So some games have helped me with that. Like I think puzzle games, mostly have helped me with that.
Oh, wow! I'm looking at these subtitles on our Spider-Man one, and they're pretty good. I mean, we're
now.
Yeah, we're mostly going. Yeah. Welcome back to the dojo. A blanket. Oh, that was when I was like getting strangled. So
okay.
The fact that it can't do that and it can't understand anything that I'm saying while I'm being strangled. So anyway, I don't know, but like I'm fully in favor of it having accessibility features. I mean, to me, the most important feature that I want in every game is fucking subtitles because sometimes I like to have like in RPG, I like to have subtitles so I can skip through cutscenes slightly faster. I turned on subtitles for Daredevil because the audio mixing on it was sometimes so low that it was people like.
I find that happens with a lot of shows lately.
Yeah,
where I'm like, what did that guy say? And I have to turn on the subtitles. No, but like, there's a lot of stuff that you could probably do. Like, because I do call center work right now. There's a guy we know. We call him Blind Jim. He's not like actually like full blind, but he's like only partially blind. He created a program that makes it easier for him to know where things are based on like the program like will tell him stuff that he hovers over or something like that.
Right.
Something crazy as shit. But like he's amazing at it.
I think that there's a Windows accessibility thing that I know that does that where it's you turn it on and if you're vision impaired and you're using like an operating system, you use keyboard shortcuts, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't aim a mouse without being able to really see it very well. So tabbing, like when I worked at Microsoft, there was the accessibility team, and one of those guys was vision impaired, and he would tab really quickly through Windows, and it was really weird to see him use a computer because he knew what each menu thing was. So it would be like file, edit, view, like it would just be like the very beginning of the word as he was tabbing through like the entirety of the system interface to find the thing that he wanted. But I don't know. I thought it was a really good. I can see though. I'm sorry, I'm getting real off topic.
When it comes to games though, like it's harder to come up with ideas of things that'll help people who are, hearing impaired or slightly visually impaired, because it's not really. There isn't too many things you have to change for one.
Yeah.
For a game to be accessible, because it's not like a sport. Like you don't need to have a wheelchair accessible ramp to play Spider-Man.
Right.
Like it's a game. Like you don't have to worry about stuff like that. But I can't think of things like multiplayer wise that you could add that would make things a little like other than like I said the colorblind sort of thing for puzzle games or the thing he mentioned that the hearing. Where it mutes it, but it tells you where things are coming from.
I do think though that there is a case to be made for having audio cues represented in a somewhat visual way, just because there's a lot of like, I think that's one of the reasons that I suck at Fortnite is because I don't like to listen to games, right?
Yeah.
Like I have a pair of headphones. I have one of the big Sony Bluetooth Gold headsets, but like I only use those to just watch movies. But like in Fortnite, like you need to be listening because that's how you're gonna hear shots far away. So anytime that you can do anything to make that, to give you an alternate way to kind of detect that same thing, I feel like has a use. Anyway, let's we only got about 10 more minutes here, so let's just burn through the rest of these. Joseph writes in and says, "Good evening, Jeff and Michael. With the announcement of James Gunn helming Suicide Squad 2 with a brand new cast, which DC characters would you like in this new film, and what actors/actresses would you like to play the roles? Keep on raging. Low patron, Joseph." I'm bad at actors or actresses, but I can maybe think of. So we're just looking for like DC villains, right?
I like the idea that the internet had or making Bautista Bane.
Oh, Dave Bautista.
I would love that shit.
Is it because he's like was so vocal about leaving Marvel because of James Gunn's dismissal that he just goes over and becomes Bane?
I would love that shit. That would be amazing.
That would be
like the
cool.
greatest random thing ever to happen.
Yeah.
Other DC characters, I would love to just see Catman show up.
You know,
Like,
I'd like to see.
And have him be played by Matt Damon, just to make it great.
I'd like to see Catwoman like show up. I think that would be.
Oh, that would be good.
You know, that Assault on Arkham. It's kind of a good blueprint. I'm having a hard time getting that out of my head. Where it was like, but that was the characters that have already been in there. So like, you had Deadshot,
Well,
Killer
most
Croc.
of them, like
Killer Frost wasn't in there.
Yeah, Killer Frost isn't one that shows up in the live action. What is it, Tiger Shark or something Shark? Can't remember his name.
I don't know. Sewer Shark.
But no, yeah, there's a lot of like I think it would be funny to see Manchester Black show up. That would be interesting.
Man, I got feelings about that.
I don't know who Manchester Black would be played by though. The Riddler would be great to see again. Solomon Grundy, I would love to see Solomon Grundy show up, just for the fuck of it.
I think that the internet, or no, not the internet, but I think that like the people that would like to see Suicide Squad would fucking love Prometheus.
Oh my god, yeah,
because he's just the evil Batman,
he's
right?
Evil Batman,
like,
and just have him. God, yeah, that would be fucking great, actually.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of other people, like some of the rogues. I think would be fun.
Yeah,
like the Trickster, I think would be fun.
Stick with me here. Check this out. Amanda Waller has been fucked, and she has to accompany in person the Suicide Squad rather than being like the person at the top.
Oh, okay. Like have her actually be among them.
Yeah, yeah, and they fucking hate her, and you know,
I'd watch that.
I don't know.
I think Parasite would be fun. I just want to see Parasite in something. Same with Metallo.
I'm running through the top 100 DC villains here, just kind of trying to think because. Creeper might be interesting to throw in there.
Creeper would be a lot of fun.
Because then you don't have to have like a Joker, right? You can have the weird. You can have
the other guy who's just kind of like him, but not really. I'm trying to think of other people that would actually would work as a Suicide Squad, because there are a lot of times they're characters that no one really gives a fuck about normally.
Oh, I am a big fan of Mirror Master.
Mirror Master's fun.
I know he's a. He's a Flash villain, right?
Yeah, he's one of the rogues.
But I really like there was a Grant Morrison Rock of Ages, where I love Rock of Ages. Like, it's a really strange storyline, but like it begins with Lex Luthor putting together the Injustice Squad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically instead of like going at the Justice League, like he blows up he sets bombs on the Watchtower. He has Minerva or whatever, chip away at Green Arrow's confidence. He bought Aztec's gear. Like, he was the one that funded the program that made Aztec, and then has a bunch of these villains show up to kind of fuck with the Justice League, and he's basically doing a corporate takeover. There's a really good end to one of those comics where Batman is I can see what he's doing. He's doing corporate takeover, but that was Lex Luthor's mistake. Is he thought he was trying to defeat Batman, but he's not. He's trying to defeat Bruce Wayne, and I know everything about corporate takeovers. But because he literally like just pays Mirror Master more to betray Lex Luthor and not to like work with him because he's a mercenary.
I know that Justice League cartoon had some fun with that too. Actually,
Yeah,
he did something similar to that. Ultra Humanite. That's a character that doesn't show up in a lot of things anymore. Shade.
Ooh,
Remember
Clarion the
Shade?
Witch Boy.
The Witch Boy.
I love Clarion the Witch Boy.
I forgot about it.
Ooh, Shade would be cool
Shade would be
too.
great.
Shade's a great character. There's the
I'm
Ultra
trying to think of other
Humanite.
characters that don't appear in stuff a lot of times.
Yeah.
Fuck. I was thinking that. What is the Green Arrow villain?
Oh, what's his name? Mr.
Mixiel Spitling?
Monsieur, like
Oh.
Sala or whatever, and the Brain, like the big monkey guy that's got the beret on.
Isn't it just called the Brain or something?
Well, the Brain is the Brain, but he also like I guess it was an Outsiders comic where he was hanging out with like there's a. It's like kind of I think he's a Grodd offshoot, but he's just
but
like
but I think that's the character though, isn't it? Because he showed up in the Teen Titans cartoon too, if I remember correctly.
I don't
King
know.
Shark, that was the guy's name.
King Shark, yeah.
Black Mask wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other like random villains that like no one cares about that would show up. The fuck is that? Merlin from Green Arrow.
Yeah.
I think would be good.
What about what's his name? The Batman guy with the
I was
dummy?
thinking that too with the ventriloquist.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
That'd be interesting.
Because do you put the bomb in the puppet or do you put the bomb in the ventriloquist? That's the question that I'm wondering.
It's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so there's a bunch of villains. I don't know. Take your pick. Spin the wheel again.
Spin the wheel on a D-list, C-list. I still think Catman, played by Matt Damon, is a great idea though.
I'm gonna go back though, Jerry. I'm gonna go back to what I was saying about comics and like I kind of feel like, okay, let me put it this way. I didn't give a shit about any of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know who they were or what they were about.
Livewire. That's one that I would like to see.
And then James Gunn wrote a really good movie, and it happened to have those Guardians of the Galaxy in it. So it wasn't like I was like, oh, finally somebody who gets the Guardians of the Galaxy. I was just like, oh, finally a good movie.
Did I ever tell you a story about something similar to that with a Rocket Raccoon? When Marvel's Capcom 3 was first announced, I was still in a MySpace group, and this one, I put it on there because I was like very young. And this guy said, I'll only play it if Rocket Raccoon is in it. And I was like, I don't know who the fuck Rocket Raccoon is. And so when they announced the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're like, who cares about these characters? I'm like, I know one dude somewhere in the randomness of the internet who loves Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, because just to finish, like what I was saying that was like my problem with the DC EU or with the problem with the DC universe, right? Or the movies?
Yeah, the cinematic whatever shit.
It's not that I don't like Batman or Superman, it's that I think they're badly made. My problem with Suicide Squad wasn't that I don't like Deadshot and Killer Croc, it was that the story was stupid. So like if you write a good story, put whoever in there. Make it the fucking Dr. Sivana and Lobo go on a fucking cross-country adventure. If it's a good story, then it's a good story. Like, to me, whoever's in it doesn't matter. It could be anything. It could be any movie about anything. What matters is the quality of the script and the direction, not the characters. Like, that whole Suicide Squad movie could have been great. There's nothing wrong with Will Smith, Margot Robbie.
All those actors are really, most of them are really good picks.
In fact, I thought Suicide Squad was like 40% a good movie, but like, I mean,
it had
just
potential.
like there were parts of it that I thought were okay, and then it was like, oh, when you think about the plot, it's like, oh, so the reason this happened is because Amanda Waller is stupid. That's why this happened, because she keeps fucking Enchantress's heart locked in a box connected to a bomb and keeps her brother's statue just like sitting in her laundry room. Like, come on, Waller. Like, you found him in the same place, right? It's not like you got Enchantress's statue underneath a pyramid and you got this one at like a 7-Eleven. Like, come the fuck on. Put it in a vault somewhere. Or like maybe somebody keeps track of what's going on in your house. Maybe there's like a camera. Maybe it's like thing. Maybe it's something.
Remember, that was the joke about the DC movies for a long time, was the fact that they're like, well, if I have a hard time considering making a movie based on some of these characters, and then on Marvel side, it's like, yeah, let's make a movie about a talking raccoon in a tree that just says I am Groot. This is like just random. Like, they'll do whatever. That's what makes the Marvel ones more interesting.
Yeah.
Is they'll take the lesser knowns and then make them more interesting.
I agree. Is this the same, Jerry? Well, I don't know. I already got it pulled up. You know what? No, I got a different one instead. Hold on. Vamp, Michael, Vamp.
Vamp, the Metal Gear Solid 2 character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do your best Vamp impression.
Nanomachines.
Nano machines.
I'm going to murder you or whatever. Solid Snake.
They call him Vamp because he's into dudes. Not
That was the
because he's a
weirdest part.
vampire.
That was the weirdest fucking part about that when that happens. They're like, why
He's
do they call him
having-
Vamp? Because he's a vampire, right? No, he's just really in the dudes. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, what does that mean? We don't normally use that word to, like when I say,
like-
"Oh, look out, everybody! Fucking Grant Davis is a vamp." You don't think like you'd be like, "Oh, he's gay." No, you wouldn't say. I mean,
You think
know.
he's a vampire, right? First and foremost.
I think you say like, "Why are you using that word?" That's like a verb. You vamp. You vamp. You know.
It's fucking weird. Metal Gear Solid 2 was a weird game.
Also, it's like what? Who's the general that vamp? That's doing the like presentation for the Metal Gear.
Yeah, it turns out he was fucking that dude.
Yeah, they were fucking, but like he was Fortune's dad.
Yes.
What in
that's
the
why-
what?
That's why they knew each other or something.
Right.
Which made it weirder.
Yeah.
And that fucking game was so crazy.
It was very bizarre.
It was the strangest part about that. One of the strangest things about that game.
Kenny writes in and says, "Dear Jeff and Michael, I've just started watching Designated Survivor and realized the decisions Kiefer Sutherland makes in the show are akin to a David Cage game. My question is, have you watched Designated Survivor? And if so, would you like to see David Cage game based around a show where you play as the president? Rage on from Kenny."
I'd play that game, yeah.
All right.
Press X to Jason.
Hey, you know what?
Then launch
Fucking
nukes.
Detroit was delightful. I think that David Cage is getting better, not worse. I think that Fahrenheit, as much as people love it, goes so wrong that I can't ever enjoy it. I mean, I think that Heavy Rain is better than Beyond Two Souls, but there are parts of Beyond Two Souls that are better than Heavy Rain. Like,
And Indigo Prophecy isn't actually all that bad.
well, that's Fahrenheit. That's what they called it.
Is that what it was
Europe.
somewhere else? Okay.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm a très European. Oh. I think that's all of them, right? That's all the David Cage games.
As far as I know, that was all the ones they
Indigo
made.
Prophecy, Heavy Rain,
Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and then no, he
Detroit.
made. I could have sworn he made it. No, that's right. I'm just thinking of Beyond Two Souls again.
Not Until Dawn, right?
Yeah, which you would have expected was him, but it's not.
I think that could work as a designated as like a being the president game
I'd play that game
because like that
That's what I like about David Cage though is the fact that he has been getting better instead of like there's so many other people who just fucking go backwards.
Oh right, he did Omicron, the Nomad Soul in 1999.
No idea.
It's a game with David Bowie in it.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah. That game starts and the main character comes to your screen and is like, "Hey, you playing this game. I'm letting you have control of my soul. Like, but don't die because if you die, your soul's now entwined with mine and you'll be trapped in this game forever." And it's just like, what?
It's like I'm just gonna turn this off then.
And then David Bowie is like, Cyber David Bowie singing the Cyber David Bowie songs. People forget that David Bowie was way into the internet, like in the early days.
He was.
Like that motherfucker was way into the internet. Yeah, I can definitely see
You make me want to play that though.
the Omicron. Yeah,
I just want to see it now.
It's got a like an open world component, and then like a I think it's like a first person shooting component, and then like a Tekken style fighting game component, all in the same game. Along with, and if you die, then your soul goes to the nearest like NPC in the world.
That's so fucking strange.
Like, so you don't just reload as the same character, like you move between different characters. It's a very odd game. It's really weird. It's
Sounds like
ugly as shit. I mean, 1999, but
Yeah,
you
sure.
know. So yeah, I can totally see that. I think that the way that Detroit surfaced the idea of like your decisions have consequences in the world would work very well for a game like that. What is this?
This is Super Best Friends.
Okay, so yeah, this is what it looks like. It's fucking weirdo and crazy.
Yeah, it looks like a 1990s game, all right.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't pull up the one that John and I played. In any case, Yeah, I can see that. Also, Designated Survivor, I eventually kind of got tired of it. Oh, yeah, it's all in the future, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I realized that you're
No,
like, wow, these are really bad character models.
No, I was just gonna say I realized that picture on the right is David Cage.
Oh, yeah.
Just looking super creepy.
It's a strange. Omicron's a strange game.
Okay, I actually kind of vaguely remember this game now.
But
More
yeah,
look at it.
Designated Survivor's okay, but then I lost interest in it. I was in season 2, and I was just like, oh, this is the same fucking thing over and over again. Then Kiefer Sutherland gives a speech. The end.
And then does he become Snake after that?
Actually, I fell asleep during a place where they had a really critical betrayal of him in season 2, and then when I woke up, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to go back like 2 episodes to see what happened. I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done, everybody. Bye bye.
Like the president was Venom Snake the whole time.
That's right. That's what happened. I should have noticed when the horn was growing out of his head.
Exactly.
It's actually interesting though to see this game as kind of like it's very ambitious, even though the end result is rough.
That's the thing about like that about video games during certain time frames is that some people were super ambitious with something.
Yeah,
probably way before they should have been.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we got one more question. This one doesn't really apply to everybody, but they wrote in, and I thought I would put this down for the record. Rain writes in and says, "Hey, Jeff and Michael, I'm a huge fan of yours. Been watching on Patreon since the very beginning. I was wondering, are any of the old co-hosts ever coming back, even just sporadically? Not that I dislike John, Amanda, Matt, and Michael. Hey, but I do kind of miss Allison, Kristen, Kayla, Aaron, Grant, Sarah, Joe, and Jennifer.
You misspelled my name though.
Your friend Rain. Yeah." It was right and quick.
No, it's just a lot of people spell it like that for some reason.
Okay, so I thought I would take a moment to answer this. Like,
they all died in a horrible bus accident.
No.
Oh, okay.
Most of what's happened here is that we all kind of had our own, like, okay, so I'm 40 and like in my mid 30s, right? That was when I was working for Spill, a little bit earlier than that, but and I feel like in that time period we were all still kind of like just banging around. You know how we were talking about like having time to do stuff. You know, you remember Kayla used to come over here every Sunday for 3 hours to play streaming games with me?
She also used to not live much farther away than she does now.
She lived about the same place. She didn't move that far away. I mean, she used to drive like an hour to get to my house and an hour back just to stream.
No, she lived. I feel like she lives a lot farther than that even now, though.
Oh, it's very similar.
It's
not
very
that
similar. Like considering it's not too far, not that farther. It's still farther from here, though. Is what I mean, though.
Yeah, but well, I don't know. I mean, a lot of it is just like if you can get out of one part of Austin and on a highway, then you're.
Well, she basically lives basically where kind of the area I used to live almost.
Oh, okay.
Like that kind of far away. Last I remember.
But anyway, I don't know. Let's run down the list. Allison is off doing her own thing. I haven't even seen her in a long time. You know, Kristen and Kayla. I feel like they both. I mean, Kristen last time I checked was like making comics and squids and all that shit, like doing her thing. Kayla had some stuff that she had to take care of, and then she's kind of gone off and done her own thing. Like a lot of this is just they've done their own thing. It's always an open invitation. I didn't want to specifically say that like Aaron moved to California to become a fucking stuntman, right? Like so, no.
He's doing really well now.
Yeah. Grant, again, open invitation, and Grant's on the asylum this year. It's just that, Grant has 2 kids, runs a podcasting studio, and has like 4 podcasts of his own.
And a bitchin' fucking car now, though. Have you seen that fucking thing?
No.
He's got this like super nice fucking, I forgot the name of it, but it basically looks like a Corvette.
Oh.
I want to say it's a Stingray.
Oh, God.
It's fucking gorgeous.
All right.
I don't know how the fuck he got it.
Sarah, she, again, went off to kind of just like do her own thing. She doesn't have as much time anymore to do.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that I feel like a lot of people don't understand, Joe has actually been on more often. He was on when we played, what was it? One of the Yakuza Kiwami 2, I believe he was on for that.
Yeah, because he really likes the Yakuza games. I think I accidentally convinced him to buy Fist of the North Star.
Yeah. So, the thing is, Rain, that a lot of the folks, Michael can attest to this, right? I feel like people don't understand how time-consuming this process is. Right, that we can't this podcast. You got here at what, like 10?
Yeah, 9-ish, 9:30ish,
9:30, and it's now almost 12:30, and we have one more video to record. Right, like these things take time, even if it's just setting up and hitting a record button, and then there are
breaks in between of some stuff too.
Yeah,
it's not like we record and then record and then record and then record. It's like there's little gaps here and there.
Right. Oh, and then mostly that's because I found over the years, like, I can't record more than X number of things in a day, or else I'm just like, I already said it. I said everything. Like, I don't have anything left to say for today.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Yeah. So the simple answer here is probably Allison, Kristen, Kayla, Aaron. I don't think you're going to see them again. I mean, as always, the door is always open. If Kayla ever was like, "Hey, I want to play," I want to come do a stream with you, I'd be like, "Yeah, sure. You were welcome." Grant, I check with from time to time. Brian Salisbury, I check with from time to time. Aaron, Sarah, they're no. Joe, Jennifer, maybe from time to time. It all kind of depends on how things go. But like I said, I didn't even mention this in the beginning when I was talking about it, but like this week I recorded everything that we have for normal Rage Select, plus the Asylum, plus the first chunk of sequentials for Red Dead Redemption 2. I had to schedule 11 different people over the last 5 days to come to my house and record. And like, that's no small feat. And I'm not even done. Like, I'm not getting a day off this week. So, a lot of it is just, can we get, do people have time? Are they willing to come to my house? Et cetera, et cetera. So, I don't know. I'll give it a shot, Rain. It's,
Sometimes it's job changes too. Like sometimes your schedule is just crazier, and
yep.
Like I've had a recent job change, and my schedule sometimes doesn't accommodate for some of this stuff too nowadays.
Yep. I mean, I would never ask you on a non-work weekday to come over here and stay until fucking midnight o'clock.
Yeah,
right?
like it doesn't bother me though. Like it's there's things that never really bother me. It's just that like I haven't been able to do one of us that much either because of the job switch. Like I haven't done a review in like 2 or 3 months basically.
There's also, I mean, it's just like, for me, there's all of that stuff of people's personal schedules, and then mixed with, like, let's say next week, right? I think The Quiet Man comes out on Tuesday.
I think so.
Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu comes out on Tuesday. The Quiet Man comes out on, like, Friday. And I think that if I can get my Hitman copy upgraded, that also comes out on Friday. So it's like, if everything, like the week before when we had Starlink, and then we had what the fuck did we have? In any case, what I'm trying to say is that the week before last, on Tuesday, I recorded 3 videos with Amanda that was going to cover Wednesday and Thursday, and then I covered Monday and Tuesday with Matt with Starlink, and then it's like I had Saturday with Matt for The Witcher. Sunday was going to be a stream, so I didn't have to worry about it. Friday, I think I recorded with John after the podcast, or maybe it was you. I'm
pretty sure it was John that time.
A lot of times John and I will record a podcast on Thursday, but like this week, I recorded the normal 9 to 10 videos that I normally recorded, plus 5 Asylum videos, plus a big chunk of Red Dead Redemption.
Plus all these other games are still coming out too. Like,
yes, exactly.
Like some of us also want to play these games too.
Plus, yeah, I'd like to play Red Dead. I'd like to finish Obra Dinn, right? Like I fucking loved that game.
I would love to finish that actually.
So
that was pretty fucking rad.
A lot of it just comes to what I can do in the amount of time that I have, and I'm trying to be better at it. Like we had some intros this week, and I'd like to try to get some of those back in there. It's just I can't do them. Like intros now are going to have to be a thing that are flexible, right? Like if I have time and I have a good idea, yeah, let's set up and do them. It doesn't take more than 10, 15 minutes. But it used to be that I was spending as much time doing these convoluted intros as I was recording the entire episode. And so the idea that the first 10 seconds of the episode was taking as much production time as the 45 minutes that came after that was insane. I just couldn't do that. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Speaking of how late it is and everything, Michael, tell people where they can find you on the internet.
You can still find me on oneofus.net, even though I haven't done a review in a while, but you can still find me doing some stuff here and there.
Okay.
On there.
All right. And you can find everybody here on Rage Select when they want to come over. Mail@rageselect.com is the email address. Write us in, give us your questions, and we will answer them. With long lists of anime and comic books, apparently.
I have a long list.
All right.
They're mostly Spider-Man related.